What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 13 Centigrams Chapter 208. Is this feeling precious enough? In the chat group, Howard Stark enthusiastically brought the topic back to the right track. Continue to say Loki, he is Hela's father? Mayano Atsushi. Yes. In the mythology of our world, Loki is not Odin's younger brother, but an evil god. Howard Stark. Adopted again? It seems that Loki and the Acer are doomed to miss it. Lee Zahn. Loki in the Marvel world is really miserable. Compared with other worlds, he is not only a generation lower, but his strength has become a lot weaker. In other worlds, Loki is a very powerful existence. Mayano Atsushi. Yes. Loki in our world mythology is also very powerful. Of course, he is most famous for giving birth to children. He and his group of evil god children are the culprits of Ragnarok in Norse mythology. Holy Keisha. I heard a term that made me care. What is Ragnarok? Mayano Atsushi. Odin's Asa gods were wiped out, and all the gods were killed. The end of the gods is called Ragnarok. Yamamoto Yanansai Shigekuni. Is that Loki and his children so powerful? They can even destroy the entire Protoss. Lee Zahn. Of course it's not just Loki and his kids, it's the chain reaction of the destruction of the whole world. Of course Loki and his kids are also credited, they are the main creators of the world's destruction. Executioner. Lee Zahn. For example, the giant wolf Fenrir born by Loki, Odin died in its mouth and was bitten to death by it. Another example is the earthly python Jemingard. Thor is the god of thunder. Killed by its venom, one man and one python perished together. Howard Stark smiled and said, okay, Odin and Thor were both killed by Loki's children, but Loki is their two younger brothers in different worlds. Is this a brother cannibalism? Mutant Black Emperor. The last time Loki appeared with Thor, I felt like a soy sauce. I didn't expect his ability to have children in other worlds to be so terrifying. Lee Zahn. What Loki has in other worlds is not only the ability to give birth to children, but in the mythology of some worlds, he is also the god of destruction and destruction. Loki in this world is a bit miserable, and it feels like a joke. Whitebeard. Since this Loki is so bad, why does Odin want to be his brother? Could it be that Loki is good at disguise and uses deception to gain Odin's trust? Senju Hashirama. Maybe it's because Loki represents the evil god, Odin and Loki represent two different forces, and they use the method of sworn brothers to establish a friendly alliance. But obviously, the effect of this alliance method is not big. Lee Zahn. That's not the case. In other worlds, although Loki is an evil god, he has a good side. He often does bad things and then tries to save them. So in many worlds, he is the god of mischief. Emergence is the god of destruction and destruction. Second Mizukage Ghost Lantern Moon. So Ragnarok is actually the world's fault, and Loki and his children just happen to act as executioners. Essentially just a bunch of tool people. Lee Zahn. Maybe, in the mythology of some worlds, Loki was misunderstood and punished by the gods, and finally became bad. Of course, he was not wronged by being misunderstood. Who made him mischievous all day long? It's normal for people to think he accidentally killed someone. Lee Zahn. In those myths, although Loki and his children caused Ragnarok, the solution of Ragnarok was also because of the artifacts he built for the gods. I don't know if the myths of those worlds really exist, otherwise, I'd like to meet that Loki. Irisfeel. Why? Not because of his amazing fertility. Lee Zahn laughed. Yes, that's it. In those worlds, Loki personally gave birth to a horse for his relationship with Odin. I asked, is this relationship precious enough? Alice Phil. Speechless. Outside world. Lee Zahn took the dimensional coordinates given by Odin, and the space moved instantaneously with gems, and soon appeared in front of a dimensional fragment. Entering it, this is a gloomy world, filled with the breath of death everywhere. In the chat group, Howard Stark asked in surprise, is this also somewhere in the universe? It looks so scary. Lee Zahn explained. This is the dimension where Odin imprisoned Hela, a piece of hell. The mutant Black Emperor asked inexplicably, I know hell, what are the pieces of hell? Lee Zahn. The hell in the Marvel world is a multiverse dimension, and it was later broken for unknown reasons, and countless fragments became countless hells. Some of these fragments flew to our universe, and this dimension in front of us. Fragment is one of them. It should be used as a prison after being discovered by Odin. Outside world. The boundless aura of death quickly condensed, and a woman in green clothes appeared in front of Lee Zahn, looked at him with interest, and asked, who are you? Why are you here? Lee Zahn said unabashedly, you can call me Lee Zahn. I am now the supreme mage of Midgard, and of course your father Odin's partner. Hela's face sank, and she said coldly, are you sent by that old Odin? What a surprise, did he send you to die? Lee Zahn shook his head and said, no, Odin uses ether particles in exchange. Please, I'll take care of you after he dies. I'll come over and have a look in advance so that I can be prepared. Hela laughed loudly. Take care of you, he is really my good father, even if he is about to die, he will not give me freedom or give me the throne. When the words fell, Hela's expression suddenly became sullen, looking at Lee Zahn with sharp eyes. Raising her hand was a magical attack, and a sharp wooden sword flew towards Li Zan. The space gem in Li Zan's hand glowed, forming an invisible space barrier, blocking Hela's wooden sword. Seeing this, Hela raised her eyebrows, and waved a wooden giant sword several meters wide and stabbed Li Zan, hitting the space barrier released by Li Zan heavily. Stop struggling. Li Zan shook his head, the power gem space and gems glowed at the same time, and the powerful space power directly shattered the huge wooden sword released by Hela. Then a huge pressure fell on Hela, and the space around her also solidified as if it were real, making her unable to move freely like a cage. What a powerful force. You said just now that you were trading with Odin, right? Hela struggled for a while and found that it didn't work. She looked at Li Zan with a twinkle in her eyes and suggested cooperation with a smile. Why don't you let me out? We will join forces to defeat Odin. What Odin promised you, I will do it when the time comes. Double it for you. Li Zan shook his head and said, forget it. You are not Odin's opponent, so don't think about good things here. Hela smiled and said, no, that's not necessarily. I have a seal set by Odin on my body, and this seal is bound to Odin's life. I can sense his state through this seal, and I'm pretty sure there is not much time left to live. Li Zan dismissed. So what? You're talking about this not much time, at least a few hundred years. Odin is not old enough to be unstoppable, on the contrary, now is the most powerful time in his life. Because Asa the divine power of the Protoss will continue to grow with age. Hela said. His strength will indeed become stronger and stronger with the passage of time, but his body will become more and more old. His ability to continue fighting and ability to withstand damage are constantly decreasing. Better than him. Li Zan smiled. We beat him. You are really joking. If I beat him for you, and you don't have the ability to compete with me, is Asgard yours or mine? Hela blinked and smiled. If you can take Asgard from me, then I have no opinion. Li Zan said with disdain. You have to be careful with me, right? Don't think I don't know. There is a special relationship between you and Asgard. Asgard is not destroyed, you will not die, and you will have endless uses there. Magic. Hela's expression sank and said coldly. You know so much, are you sure you won't help me? Odin is not an ideal partner. If you don't believe me, my fate will be the best. Instruction. Li Zan looked at Hela with interest and asked, are you trying to say that Odin betrayed you who was once a comrade in arms? Hela was stunned, nodded and said, it seems that you know this. Did Odin tell you? It seems that he has a little conscience and did not obliterate my contribution to Asgard. Li Zan gave Hela a sympathetic look and shook his head. No, in the history of Asgard, you, the goddess of death, did not exist. Even your younger brother didn't know that your sister existed. Hela's face turned green when she heard the anger, and she gritted her teeth and said to Li Zan, since you know how shameless he is, why would you cooperate with him? I was his vanguard and executioner back then. We led Asgard. The army of Germany swept across the 9 realms and continued to advance towards the goal of conquering the universe. Hela clenched her fists and said with hatred, just when we finished the conquest of the 9 realms and were ready to expand to the entire universe, Odin suddenly betrayed us. He ordered us to stop conquest, and when we could not let with our approval, we directly took action to suppress and seal me up. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 209 Prophecy, Fate. In the chat group, Lancelot. Odin did such an outrageous thing. The one who betrayed his subordinates is not a qualified king. Doflamingo. Foo, don't be too naive, all leaders are ruthless. Has Odin erased Hela's existence from Asgard's history? Leaders will do so. Mutant Black Emperor. Master, are you sure you want to continue to cooperate with Odin? If Odin is really untrustworthy, maybe you can try to cooperate with Hela. Li Zan. Don't be stupid. From a rational point of view, Odin did the right thing. Don't worry, listen to me explain why. Outside world. Li Zan looked at Hela and said indifferently. Do you know why Odin stopped the pace of external expansion? Hela asked curiously. Why? Li Zan sneered. You don't have the prophetic ability of the Acer, right? Odin has it. He who can see the future will naturally have a longer vision than you. Why should Odin stop conquering the universe? That's because found out the risk in him. Hela sneered. Risk? How can there be no risk in fighting? What reason is this? Li Zan shook his head and said, no, their risks are different. Asgard did not have the ability to conquer the universe at that time, and blind conquest and expansion will only make all major forces share the same hatred. Do you think Asgard is so strong? There is not no existence in the universe that can destroy him. Hela sneered. In the end, it's the old thing Odin. Li Zan shook his head and said, as a king, his retreat is worthy of recognition, because what he bears is not his own life, but the lives of countless residents of Asgard. I know why Odin is not willing to let you inherit Asgard. Because you never took your people seriously? Hela disdainfully said, the people of Asgard, that kind of thing, you don't need to care at all. They just need to perform their duties well, and I don't need to think about them. In the chat group, Li Zan asked, what do you think now? Tohsaka Tokiomi. I found that this Hela is very similar to Jin Jing, both of which are arrogant and unreasonable. Their requirements for the officials and the people are only obedience, and they regard them as their own tools. Don't take their opinions seriously. Irisfield. Indeed. Such people are too arrogant, and their willful actions will bring disaster to others. If they become kings, they will definitely bring devastating damage to the entire country. Lancelot. It's true. What if such a king is powerful? Maybe they can make their country brilliant and strong, but the people in the country will not get the slightest benefit from the country's strength, because the selfish king will all the benefits brought by the country's prosperity are taken away, and the people will even tremble under his cruel rule. Matuye. They may not necessarily bring prosperity to the country, but they may also bring destruction to the country. The people who want him will suffer, and they will pay a heavy price for their king's recklessness. Outside world. Li Zan looked at Hela and shook his head, helplessly said, "It seems that you can't understand what I said, so let's simulate the situation. If you want to conquer the entire universe, is it not all the planets you have? Are you going to call?" Hela said proudly. "Of course." Li Zan smiled and said, "Then one day, what will you do if you hit my territory? Are you sure you can fight against me with your strength?" Saying that, Li Zan raised his hand to release a powerful force, and the power gem condensed the space to squeeze Hela. Hela roared and burst out her whole body magic to fight, but in the end she was suppressed by the space force, and she was humiliated and placed in a big shape, like amber in the space crystal. How? Odin gave up the idea of conquering the universe because he foresaw such a picture. Don't look at Odin too well, and don't look at Odin too stupid. He changed from an ambitious tyrant to a gentle and benevolent monarch, even at the cost of breaking a right-hand man like you. Do you really think it was his conscience that found him? You are wrong. How can a king like him have a conscience? In the face of conquering such a big cake of the universe, he can abandon all face, shame and even glory. The only thing that can make people realize that the war is wrong is only those who are powerful enough to destroy their opponents. Understand? People will only think about reasoning when they are faced with powers of the same level or even stronger than themselves. Li Zan looked at Hela in the amber and said with a look of disdain, he didn't even have this consciousness, and he still wanted to be the king? Reckless and naive, you are not as good as your younger brother. When you learn Odin's brazenness and treacherousness, consider taking over Asgard. Li Zan waved his hand, and the power of the three infinity stones erupted at the same time, placing another seal on Hela. In this way, even if Odin is finished, Hela will not want to escape here, because Li Zan's power is still imprisoning her. In the chat group, Howard Stark asked curiously, "Master, what happened to Hela in the future? If it wasn't for you, did Odin get rid of Hela before he died?" Whitebeard questioned. "Impossible. How about Hela's daughter too? Tomisaka Tokiomi. That's not necessarily. Excellent kings who are willing to abandon their children to defend the country have never been lacking since ancient times. According to the description of Odin by the master of the group, Odin definitely has this courage." Li Zan. The answer is wrong. Hela and Asgard are inseparable. If Asgard is not destroyed, Hela will not die. Odin did not have the determination to destroy Asgard, so he kept Hela down. Mutant Black King. After Odin died, did Hela fight back to Asgard? I bet Thor couldn't stop her. Li Zan. It's more than can stop her, it can be said that she was beaten. Not only was Hela stabbed in one eye, but even his precious hammer was crushed by Hela. Senju Hashirama. No way. Thor's hammer should be a famous artifact in this world, right? This kind of treasure can be crushed by Hela. How strong is Hela? Li Zan. It has little to do with strength. Mjolnir was forged by Odin for Hela. Facing Mjolnir, Hela has higher authority than Thor, and she has the right to destroy Mjolnir. The mutant Black Emperor sighed. What a pity. If Thor couldn't stop Hela, the goddess of death, then Asgard must have fallen into Hela's hands. This mad woman has begun to conquer the universe? Li Zan. Hela did take over Asgard, but before she could conquer the universe, Asgard was destroyed. Howard Stark guessed. Then's Li Zan. The answer is wrong. Ragnarok in this world is different from other worlds. It is the flame giant who destroyed Asgard. After Asgard is destroyed, Hela is also finished. Howard Stark. Flame giant. Li Zan. The king of a certain world in the Nine Realms, once defeated by Odin, was killed by Thor, the god of thunder in the original future, and the skull was taken to the Asgard treasure house for storage. Holy Keisha questioned. Even Thor can't beat Thor, why did the flame giant destroy Asgard? Could it be that Hela, the goddess of death, did it when no one defended Asgard? Li Zan. Queen Keisha, you must understand that this is not a purely scientific world. This world also has prophecies and destiny, and certain things will change dramatically when they appear. Holy Keisha asked curiously. For example, when the flame giant destroyed Asgard, what happened to him? And how did he resurrect after being killed by Thor, the god of thunder? Li Zan. The artifact of the flame giants, the eternal fire, was collected by Odin as a trophy in the treasure house of Asgard many years ago. Put the skull of the flame giant into the eternal fire. The flame the giant will be resurrected. Li Zan. The money's flame giant appeared in Asgard, and Ragnarok came. The flame giant's power was increased by 1,000 times, and it didn't take much effort to defeat Hela, the goddess of death, and more. Turned the whole of Asgard into cosmic dust. Holy Kesha. Prophecy, fate, as expected, I have nothing to do with these things. Outside world. Li Zan returned to Kamatage, separated a lot of shadow clone to learn the magic of Kamatage, while waiting for Thor's arrival. Since Odin wanted Thor to fight with himself to cultivate feelings, Li Zan naturally would not reject such a high-quality thug. In the chat group, Li Zan, how is the training of people? I decided to bring the whole pirate world under my control. Second Mizukage Ghost Lantern Moon. The world of Hokage can provide 100,000 ninja soldiers, and they even have the strength of Chunin at their weakest. Senju Hashirama said in surprise, how can there be so many 100,000 Chunin? Second Mizukage Ghost Lantern Moon. They are all cultivated with wood-style cells. Of course, their combat effectiveness is no problem. There are many construction work in the ninja world that need wood style to complete, and they have a good control of the ability of wood pass. Fire Fist Ace couldn't help but spit out, can construction work produce strong warriors? Kai? Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 210 now, You Are Mine. Regarding Fire Fist Ace's question, Second Mizukage responded. The construction work is to make them adapt to their own wood style, and they also received combat training. Whitebeard said, when Marine fought with our Whitebeard pirates, there were 100,000 elite soldiers alone. Those Marine elite soldiers are people who have experienced life and death struggles, and combat training alone is not enough to match them. Li Zan, who said that I called the ninja troops of the Hokage world to compete with the Marine elite soldiers of the pirate world. If I want to fight, I can destroy the world government and all other forces by myself. Li Zan, I want them to go to the pirate world because I want them to help me stabilize the situation around the world and help me to rule the whole world quickly. I don't need them to have the strength to rival Marines' elite soldiers, they only need to be able to suppress the world. Just riot. Fisher Tiger. If you just want to suppress the unrest in the four seas, there are more than enough ninja troops in the Hokage world. Basically, the powerhouses in the pirate world gather in the Grand Line, and there are very few powerhouses in the four seas. Namikaze Minato. Lord. The world of Crimson Eyes can also provide 100,000 troops, and there are two high-end combat powers, Acids and Bude, that can be dispatched. Li Zan. Get them ready to go first, I'll be picking them up soon. Senju Tobarama. Sir, you'd better move faster. Recently, the world government has been agitated, and it seems to want to join hands with the Big Mom pirates to deal with us. Li Zan. What about the living dead pirates? Senju Hashirama embarrassed. Well, although we are also making troubles, but because we do not occupy the territory, the world government does not see us as a big threat. Li Zan. Understood. No matter how strong you are just a group of thieves. You can't win the approval of the people, let alone replace the world government. But the territory I rule, the country is peaceful and the people are safe, and the world government feels a huge threat, so they think to erase me. Senju Tobarama. Yes. According to our information, they not only colluded with the Big Mom pirates, but also contacted a series of powerful men such as the Devil's Descendant Bullet and the Red Earl. Roger, the Pirate King after the end of the silence time, said, Bullet? Is this the Bullet you were talking about, who used to be on my ship? Senju Tobarama. Yes. According to our information, this Bullet has indeed been a crew member of One Piece. Roger, are you sure you can convince him to defect? One Piece Roger embarrassed. I'm afraid this is difficult. Senju Hashirama asked curiously, why? You have been his captain, but are you still not sure of persuading him to surrender? Could it be that you didn't get along well when you were on the same boat? One Piece Roger said helplessly. Bullet decided to get on my ship after he was defeated by me. The purpose of him getting on my ship is very simple, to defeat me one day. Whitebeard. So even if it's useless for Roger to come out, the end is still a fight. Since you have to beat him no matter what, there's no need to do it. Let others do it, so that Roger won't be embarrassed. One Piece Roger. That kid Bullet is very strong, and he has the strength to match me at a young age. At least I didn't have that kind of strength at his age, otherwise he wouldn't have won the title of Devil's Descendant. Li Zan. The Devil's Word? I admit that he is number one in the pirate world, but that's all. Outside world. The colorful light sent Thor down, and Thor, who was holding Thor's hammer, asked cheerfully, Li, are you going to take me to fight? I heard that your duty is to resist the dimensional demon, and I really want to see it. These legendary things. Li Zan rolled his eyes and said angrily, with your current strength, fighting the dimensional demon is just giving food. I have developed power on a planet in the universe, you help me unify that planet. Li Zan described the pirate world as a certain planet in the universe, which can avoid a lot of trouble. Anyway, the universe of Marvel World is so big, even Odin can't be sure if there is such a planet. World Shuttle, Pirate World. After Li came to Zan's world, he met two girls, Charlotte Pudding and Charlotte Garrett, whom his aunt sent to marry him. After Da Mom decided to join forces with the world government to deal with Li Zan, she activated the two pawns she buried beside Li Zan. It's a pity that the two pawns are only her wishful thinking. The two daughters have long recognized Li Zan from the bottom of their hearts and are determined to help Li Zan deal with that ruthless mad woman. They pretended to help Charlotte to deal with Li Zan, but in fact they secretly stole information from Auntie. Many of the information that Senju Tobarama and Li Zan reported were provided by the two of them. Charlotte Pudding looked at Li Zan and hesitated for a while before saying, "Is this time mommy is finished?" Li Zan laughed. Reluctant? Charlotte Garrett shook her head. We don't have the slightest mother-daughter affection for her, we just fear and hate her. It doesn't matter if she dies, we just pity the other siblings in the family. Li Zan comforted. Don't worry, as long as your brothers and sisters don't seek death, I will leave them alive. The two girls breathed a sigh of relief when they heard that, and they were relieved with Li Zan's assurance. All nations, Cake Island, over the sky. Li Zan looked down at the island below and said to Thor, the god of thunder, there is a brutal female pirate on the island below, and your mission is to destroy her. Thor said eagerly, no problem, just leave it to me. Li Zan shook his head, raised his hand to release the gravitational force of the moon demon, BFDH, took the Thor's hammer over, and said, I want you to defeat her without using Thor's hammer. Thor, the god of thunder, said dumbfounded, but, if there is no hammer of the god of thunder, I have no power. Li Zan said angrily, you are the god of thunder, not the god of hammer. You have to learn the power of the god of thunder in your master. If you can't master the power of the god of thunder in your own body, then you will be a god of hammer all your life. Thor hesitantly said, the hammer god is not bad, anyway, other people can't see what kind of god I am. Li Zan threw the Thor's hammer in his hand and said with a half smile, are you sure? Your hammer will run with others. Thor's face suddenly stiffened, and he gritted his teeth, I'll try. Li Zan nodded in satisfaction, raised his eyes and kicked Thor down to his knees, and asked him to fight with Anti. Even without Thor's hammer, Thor's power is very terrifying, and even the green fatty can be knocked down with his bare hands when he awakens his power. Li Zan felt that Thor's potential was not realized because he lacked enough pressure, and Ant-4 Emperors could give him this pressure. Boom! Below, Cake Island. After Thor fell, he was quickly treated as an intruder by the Big Mom pirates, and the battle was about to break out. Thor was ugly, and the battle without a hammer was too difficult, but he still tried hard to adapt. Dong dong dong. Just when Thor was busy fighting against the cadres and soldiers of the Big Mom pirates, the huge Charlotte Linlin appeared and watched Thor with great interest in the fierce battle. Who is this guy? His soul seems to be special. Charlotte Linlin, who has the ability of soul and soul fruit, immediately noticed Thor's unique soul of the gods. Well, you all retire for me, and I will take him down myself. Charlotte Linlin burst out laughing and waved Katakuri and the others back. Katakuri wondered. Mom, this invader is not worth letting you do it yourself, right? Charlotte Linlin laughed. His soul is so special, I want him to be my husband. You all step aside, don't hear about your father, the next thing is our husband and wife. Watching Charlotte Linlin, who was big enough to swallow herself, walk towards him, Thor's face turned green, and he heard everything Charlotte Linlin said. Make me your husband. What a joke. Thor refused without hesitation, the two of them don't match the body shape. Rejected. Number man can refuse the old lady. I want to marry you, do you dare to disagree? Charlotte Linlin said arrogantly. The palm-covering armament hockey kept grabbing towards Thor, as if she wanted to grab a handful in her hand. Thor burst out with a strong desire to survive, constantly dodging the palm of Charlotte Linlin. Charlotte Linlin was a little anxious for a long time to attack, and shouted, Zeus. A white cloud flew into Charlotte Linlin's hand and instantly turned into a pitch-black thundercloud. With Charlotte Linlin's palm, a huge lightning struck Thor, the god of thunder. Thor is afraid of electricity. Thor, who had experienced the lightning attack, didn't dare to resist. He dodged even more embarrassedly, and was then grabbed by Charlotte Linlin. Well, now, you are mine. Charlotte Linlin looked greedily at Thor, her eyes filled with primal urge. No, under the circumstance that his chastity was threatened, Thor, the god of thunder, finally broke out the power of the god of thunder in his body, and a powerful lightning swept the audience. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 211. It's okay. I can help you. The Marvel world Li Zan came into contact with was not the Avengers movie world. The Marvel world he came into contact with was a level higher than the pure movie world, somewhere between movies and comics. Naturally, Thor is not as weak as in the movie world. He inspired the power of Thor is still very strong, and a lightning sweep shrouded the entire Cake Island, knocking down everyone including the 4 Emperors and. Of course, after such a big move broke out all at once, Thor, the god of thunder, collapsed with all his strength. But this is a good sign, which means that Thor, the god of thunder, can use the power of the god of thunder in his body. Although his thunder god's power is still working now and then, but the entry ticket has been obtained, what he needs to do next is continuous training. Li Zan fell to Thor's side, smiled and said to him, How? This is your true power. Only when you master this power can you be the real Thor, instead of being like before, just a hammer god with a thunder god head. Thor rolled his eyes and said angrily, You gave the name of the god of hammer, and others think I am the god of Thor. When Li Zan heard this, he immediately looked at Saul with malicious eyes, and name can tell if you are male or female. Your thinking is very dangerous. Thor shuddered with fright, and quickly changed the subject, although I just broke out my own thunder god power, but now I can't feel it anymore. Li Zan did not take it seriously and comforted. Don't worry, this is a normal phenomenon. After you practice it a few times, you will be able to use it proficiently after you find the feeling. Thor asked curiously. I can't sense it, how can I practice master it? Li Zan laughed. Did you forget how you used it just now? Thor's face darkened, and he asked regularly, will you let me deal with this kind of enemy? If this is the case, then there are too many terrifying women in this world. Li Zan said angrily. What are you thinking? There is only one such wonderful woman on this planet, but it's not a big problem. There are still many enemies who can be called powerful for you. Li Zan asked Thor to rest first to recover the physical strength he had consumed before, and at the same time ordered his men to come down and take over the place. At the same time, his shadow clones also came to the world of pirates with the ninja troops and the imperial troops who cut the world of Crimson Eyes. Li Zan stroked lightly in the void in front of him, and a crack suddenly opened, and an island appeared on the opposite side. The Bud Admiral army from the Empire was fighting a burly man. Above the island where they were fighting, a rift in the void opened, and Li Zan stepped out of it to watch their battle from invisibility. Bullet. Once defeated by Roger, the Pirate King, he got on Roger's ship in order to defeat Roger. After Roger's death, Xuan still wanted to become stronger, and even in the underwater prison, he did not give up his body training. It took him a long time to recover his vitality after escaping from the great underwater prison. After all, the environment of the great underwater prison was a kind of torture to his body, which caused a great deficit in his body. But for a monster like him, giving him enough time and nutrition can recover. In order to gain enough power to deal with Li Zan, World Conquer did not hesitate to win over powerful pirates including Bullet. Although Bullet is not interested in the proposal of world government, he is still very interested in Li Zan, the strongest person in the pirate world. In order to get a chance to fight Li Zan alone, Bullet agreed to the proposal of the world government, but also put forward a request for a fair one-on-one fight with Li Zan. However, before the world government ordered to besiege Li Zan, the Admiral army came to him. In the chat group, Tizmi asked inexplicably, the lightning summoned by Bud's Admiral army is no less imposing than Thor, the god of thunder just now. It is obviously the same powerful attack. Why are their destructive powers completely different? Howard Stark Cope said, young people, lightning is not the same as lightning. The same value of alternating current is far more lethal than direct current. Li Zan. That's right, that's it. Thor's lightning comes from his own Thor's power, and Bud's Admiral's lightning comes from his Tegu. Although their attacks are similar in momentum, they are completely different in nature. Different. One Piece Roger. Bullet is much stronger than it was back then, but unfortunately it is still not strong enough to surpass me. It seems that our level is already the limit, and it is almost impossible to go further. Whitebeard. Gu la la la. It seems that it is not easy for the Bud Admiral army to take down the Bullet. Roger, do you want to defeat your old subordinates yourself? One Piece Roger refused. Forget it. Judging from his appearance, he is enjoying the current battle. Lord of the group, can you spare his life after defeating him? Li Zan. Of course. If he is willing to work for me, I can disregard the past. If she is not willing, the laboratory will also have his place. One Piece Roger. Shiki the Golden Lion. Jia ha ha ha. In my opinion, if Bullet refuses to surrender, give him a treat. Li Zan. Don't worry, after all, it is Roger's former subordinate, and it is not suitable to send him directly to do experiments. Doesn't he like fighting? It just so happens that Thor needs a sparring partner, so I will add a few enhancement buffs to him to make him stand up. Superior. The mutant He Huang said in surprise. Is the group master's strengthening buff so strong? Let Bullet be a sparring partner for Thor. Li Zan. Don't underestimate me, it's okay for me to improve his strength in a short time. Li Zixuan from the outside world stretched out his hand, and another space crack opened, facing Ace Day and Red Earl who were fighting. The Red Earl looked curiously at Acids who used ice, and asked, how can you have the ability to control ice? As far as I know, Aokiji is not dead. Could it be the Paramecia frozen fruit ability? Ace Day said with a morbid look. This kind of thing doesn't matter at all. Hurry up and let me kill you. Only a strong person like you is qualified to be killed by me. The Red Earl shook his head, and activated his Devil Fruit ability, Zone, Phantom Beast, Bat Fruit, Vampire form, and the whole person turned into a legendary vampire. Dot for flowers. Very good, that's it, do your best to fight with me. Ace Day said with a frenzy on his face. A huge amount of ice fell from the sky, and a hailstone like a meteorite hit the Red Earl. In the chat group, Whitebeard said with emotion. Beloric has become a demon fruit power. Is her devil fruit power a vampire? Li Zan. That's right, in order to restore his youthful strength, he got the Zone devil fruit in vampire form. No way, he was already old when he escaped from Impelled Down, and his combat power has declined drastically. One Piece Roger. It's another short-term battle to decide the outcome. 'Tis me, what do you think of Acids? She originally had a soft spot for you in the future. 'Tis me. Ace Day love is too heavy, and 'tis me feels that he is too frail to bear the weight. Li Zan. Who's going to watch them? As soon as we can't do it, we'll be dispatched immediately. Shiki the Golden Lion was dissatisfied. Isn't this bad? They are fighting fairly, and judging from their evenly matched performance, even if the opponent wins, it is a tragic victory. Isn't it cheap to go out at this time? This is Marine in the world government. Just a trick. Point zero. Li Zan snorted coldly. Who said I wanted them to fight fairly? That's their own opinion, and I kindly fulfilled their wishes. I can satisfy their small demands, but I can't delay my major affairs. Li Zan disdainfully said, fair fight. This is a personal heroism with the characteristics of a pirate, and it is a remnant of a rogue. It must be repented in time to not become a scum and not be abandoned by the new era, do you understand? Whitebeard. Sword God Ryoma, Golden Lion Shiki. The feeling of liking one-on-one with the enemy is very easy. Li Zan in the outside world mentioned Thor, opened a space door with the space gem, and came to the top of Marijoy. Thor's face turned pale, looking at the rolling buildings below, he couldn't help but ask, what is the place below? Li Zan said with a smile, the biggest force on this planet is the world government. Below is their holy place, Marijoy, which can also be said to be their headquarters or palace. Not far from Marijoy is the largest armed organization under the world government naval headquarters. Thor, the god of thunder, said with a dry smile. That is to say, they are stronger than the group of people I just dealt with? Li Zan nodded calmly and said, of course. Thor swallowed his saliva and said, my current physical condition has not recovered to the peak, and even if I go down, I will not be their opponent. Li Zan said indifferently, don't worry, you can't find the feeling of using the power of Thor, right? It's okay, I can help you. The time gem in Li Zan's hand lit up and condensed into a green magic circle. The powerful time force enveloped Thor, the god of time, and time passed quickly on Thor's body. In the blink of an eye, Thor turned into a wrinkled old man, looking younger than the current Odin, superior. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 212 There are no saints in this world. Li, what have you done to me? I feel power pouring out of my body. Thor looked at his hands in shock. The dazzling lightning kept beating in his hands, and this power could be controlled by him at will. Li Zan explained in a calm tone. I use the power of the time gem to speed up the passage of time on you, so that you can reach the state of old age ahead of time. You at this age are at the peak of your life. The divine power in the Acer will continue to grow with age. Thor, the god of thunder in old age, also known as the king of Thor, is the most ideal heir in Odin's eyes. During this period, Thor's body has not aged enough to fight, and his divine power will also reach its peak. Sensing the surging and powerful thunder and lightning in his body, Thor said confidently, give me a hammer of Thor, I can smash this planet. Li Zan shook his head and said, I don't have Thor's hammer. You'd better get used to your own Thor power. As soon as he finished speaking, Li Zan kicked Thor, the god of thunder, and let him descend to Marijoy with boundless lightning. Boom! Thor, who descended with boundless lightning, immediately attracted the attention of many strong men on Marijoy, and soon a group of guards came out to fight him fiercely. In the chat group, Howard Stark said in surprise, the time stone can still be used like this. Odin should take it back. This infinity stone fits their family so well, why didn't Odin get it? Mutant Black Emperor. That's right. Kamataja's supreme mage hell dimension demon god, what they need should be space gems. If Odin uses the universe Rubik's Cube in exchange for time gems, there should be a good chance of success, right? Quote. Dongfang Lonely Moon. If I were Odin, I would be willing to exchange the 2 infinity stones of reality and space for the 1 infinity stone of time. Tomisaka Tokiomi. They are all of the same grade of infinity stones. Wouldn't it be a big loss to trade 2 for 1? Meitu Karya. Who said it was a loss? After Odin got 2 infinity stones, he didn't use them at all, but hid them outside. Use 2 infinity stones that Odin never used, and exchange them for 1. Their family has a lot of infinity stones. Where is this loss? This is obviously a big profit. Li Zan. Who knows what Odin thinks? Maybe the supreme mage disagrees. Whitebeard. I saw the naval headquarters warships coming this way, and they were so quick. Fisher Tiger. Marine is a running dog raised by the world government. How could he not take the initiative to show up when his master is in danger? Fire Fist Ace suggested. Master, do you want to try to recruit Marine? Li Zan. You can try it. Li Zan's body moved instantly and appeared in front of the warship coming towards Marijoy. Standing in front of the warship is Sengoku, the former marshal of Marine, who was pushed back by the world government because of Akainu's death in battle. Although Sengoku was reluctant, in the face of the world government's request, he thought about it and returned to temporarily serve as the marshal. No way. The current Marine 3 Admiral, Kizaru, is an old oilman who clocks in at work, and is not suitable for the post of marshal. Fujitora and Green Bull were recruited admiral through world conscription and did not have the qualifications to serve as Marine marshal. The world government told Sengoku that if Sengoku refused to go back to serve as Marines marshal, they would have to choose a person with admiral strength from the CP organization's ace operatives who would be parachuted into Marine as a marshal. In order to prevent Marine from being controlled by the lackeys of the world government, Buddha Sengoku agreed to the request of the world government, but it also meant that Marine's position as marshal was only temporary. Li Zan. Was it you who attacked Marijoy? Buddha Sengoku looked at Li Zan, who was standing in front of him, and asked with a solemn expression. How about giving you a chance to do something for me? You should know that I represent justice better than the world government. Under my rule, the people live better than anywhere else. Li Zan smiled slightly and extended an olive branch to Buddha Sengoku and others. Unnecessary. Buddha Sengoku refused without hesitation, and the others did not say anything. Looking at Buddha Sengoku and the others who were ready to fight, Li Zan smiled slightly, and his body disappeared directly from the original one. He prepared these people for Thor, so he didn't do it himself. In the chat group, Fire Fist Ace asked inexplicably, aren't they all for justice? Now the group owner is justice, why don't they choose to support the group owner? Whitebeard. Gu la la la. Maybe they don't think the group owner has a chance, maybe they don't want to make the world go through big changes. Li Zan. Whitebeard, you missed one more thing. Maybe, they are not willing to work hard for many years. They have worked hard for many years to get the status and power in Marine. Once they change, maybe all these things will be wiped out. Quote. Senju Hashirama. No way. I think they're quite righteous. Li Zan. Justice can only make them not pirates, can't make them give up everything they have, especially everything they put a lot of effort into. Even if you are Senju Hashirama, you can guarantee that you can give up wood for the peace of the ninja world. Leaves. Senju Hashirama was silent for a while, then replied, hasn't Konoha disappeared? For the sake of the peace of the ninja world, all the people have disappeared. Uchiha Madara disdainfully said, that's because you have lost the qualification to fight, otherwise you will not be so happy. For most people, ideals are bullshit, and keeping what you have is the most important thing. Li Zan. That's right. Whether it's a pirate or a marine, they are essentially the same kind of people, and they are all people who strive for their own ideals. It's just that most of the ideals of the pirates tend to be evil, while most of Marines' ideals are biased towards evil. Xuan. Li Zan. Pirates pursue power, status, wealth, fame, power, and freedom. They don't care what impact they have on others, let alone what impact they will have on the world, so they are evil in the eyes of the world. Li Zan. And what about Marine? Marines pursue justice, order, peace, power, and glory. Their philosophy is opposite to that of pirates, because the existence of pirates is the biggest obstacle to their philosophy. It is good in the eyes of the world. Li Zan. The judgment of good and evil is based on the position of the vast majority of people, so the position of the vast majority of people must be right. It seems that the Marines have never said that they execute justice for the sake of ordinary people, right? Li Zan. Indeed, there are many people in Marine who regard protecting the people as their own justice, but there are very few such people. And things like justice will change, and there are people in Marine who change their own justice. There are not a few top players like Zephyr and Aokiji. Fire Fist Ace. Master, do you think Marines are not doing justice for the common people? Li Zan. That's right. The pirates killed a large number of innocent people in order to snatch the treasure. The looting of the treasure is the purpose, and the killing of the people is the influence. Do you understand when I say this? The thief is the purpose, and protecting the people is the influence. The influence and the purpose are different. Li Zan. Whether it's a marine or a pirate, what they value most is purpose, not influence. Even if there is no influence, it doesn't prevent them from achieving their goals. Senju Hashirama. If they're not protecting the people, what are they killing pirates for? Li Zan. Then I have to ask. Some pirates don't spend their treasures at all, but hide them instead. So what do they collect treasures for? At Gold Thief Wu Nan, you are such a pirate, the representative figure, what do you say you collect treasure for? You don't spend it. Gold Thief Wu Nan. Realize your dream. Li Zan. That's right. It's not only pirates who have dreams, but marine people have dreams too. Power, status, glory, and even destroying pirates can all become their dreams. People like Akainu, you think he destroys them? Are pirates protecting the people? Li Zan. There are not a few marines like him. They don't kill pirates to protect the people at all. That's not their purpose, at best, it's just the impact of their actions. Li Zan. You can think of this world as a dirty and messy house, and Akainu and the others are clean people. They can't stand such a messy and dirty world, so they set out to destroy the pirates they thought were garbage. It's their ideal. Li Zan. Even if it was Zephyr and Aokiji, if they hadn't lost their way in Marine, they wouldn't have joined me. It's a saint who can give everything for ordinary people, and there are no saints in this world. Of. Li Zan. Marine is also an ordinary person, and most of the Marines are just plain food. Their principles prevent them from degenerating into pirates. They regard Marine as a profession and a job. Li Zan. It's impossible for you to make them sacrifice their careers for some people they don't even know. Besides, no one stipulates that ordinary people's sacrifice is justice. The so-called common people are not without mistakes. It's just that there are many of them, and the law does not blame the public. Li Zan sneered again and again, he was not as naive as Ace. Li Zan. Good people can do everything for justice, and bad people do everything evil. This is a very naive idea. There is never a clear boundary between black and white, and the world is dominated by gray. Even me, I do these things to save the world. Things, the same as to achieve my personal wish, I am changing the world according to my own ideas. Whitebeard. Master, what are you going to do with those Marines? Li Zan. If you can make them submit mentally, it's best. If you can't, let them bow your head physically. If you can't, you can only use it. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 213 Kizaru. I want to read the newspaper and drink tea. Mariajoy. An old man with powerful thunder and lightning all over his body is running wildly here. The guards and agents who tried to stop him were killed by his powerful thunderbolt. After the high-end combat power of naval headquarters such as Buddha Sengoku came here, they quickly joined the ranks of suppressing Thor, the god of thunder. However, it was of no use, and Thor, the old god of thunder, was not something they could fight against. The old man's temper is very short-tempered. Thor sneered again and again, dazzling silver light flashed in his eyes, and substantial lightning spewed out of his body. Natural, thunder fruit ability. The Buddha Sengoku turned into a golden Buddha, and with a palm with an extremely powerful shock wave, hit Thor, the god of thunder, heavily. Humph. Thor, the god of thunder, snorted unhappily. The thunder and lightning power in his body quickly condensed in his hand, turned into a thunder warhammer, and hit the Buddha Sengoku with a rude hammer. Boom. The golden Buddha was hit by a hammer of thunder and lightning, and the golden light all over his body quickly dimmed. Buddha Sengoku retreated from the devil fruit form and turned into a human being burned by lightning all over his body. Meteorite. Fujitora waved the knife in his hand, and a purple gravitational wave rose into the sky, pulling a burning meteorite down from the sky and hitting Thor, the god of thunder, in the distance. Thor waved his hand without raising his head, and a 15 silver lightning shot up into the sky, shattering the meteorite that fell from the sky like a beam of light. Scary and noisy. Natural. Can thunder fruit really be developed to such an extent? Kizaru's body turned into light particles and rose into the sky, turning into a golden top spinning continuously, and golden light bullets fell from the sky, hitting Thor, the god of thunder. 8-foot Chongu Jade. Double the gravity. Just when Kizaru released his ultimate move against Thor, Fujitora suddenly shot, and the gravity in the area where Thor was suddenly doubled, making his movements sluggish. At this time, the Admiral Green Bull also launched an attack on Thor, and a sharp wooden thorn pierced towards Thor, and the top of the thorn carried an advanced armament hockey. The other masters also took action one after another, and the overwhelming attack surrounded Thor, the god of thunder, and wanted to gather everyone's strength to destroy him in one fell swoop. Come on. Seeing this, Thor, the god of thunder, not only did not feel fear, but instead laughed heroically, and dazzling thunder light was emitted from all over his body, as if the divine power of thunder and lightning in his body was about to burst out. His old body seems to be a container for imprisoning lightning. Once the lightning in his body is not bound by his body, it will destroy the sky and destroy the earth when it is released, and no one can stop it. Just as Hela can condense a wooden sword with the divine power of death in his body, Thor, the god of thunder, has also learned how to condense weapons with divine energy in his body. Thunder hammer. Lightning sparks. Thor's hammer fell, and the entire Mariajoy trembled twice. All the attacks were smashed by the thunder and lightning that spread out, and a crack appeared in the entire red line under this hammer. Marine and the agent have both failed, and it seems that only Lord IM can deal with the lightning-covered guy. The 5 elders looked at Thor, who was covered in lightning, and did not even have the courage to fight him, because they knew very well that they went up to deliver food. Get out. Yimu came over from behind, spoke in a cold voice, and waved his hand to let the 5 elders leave. The guy who drives the thunderbolt already possesses the destructive power no less than the ancient weapon. You can't get involved in this level of battle. In the sky, Li Zan looked at Yimu with interest. He was once regarded as an enemy, but now he is not even qualified to shoot. Boom. With a deafening roar, the entire red line cracked, and a pitch-black mechanical dragon flew out from the ground of Mariajoy. A group of celestial dragons were spit out by the mechanical dragon like medicinal dregs, and their lifespan has been extracted by the mechanical dragon and turned into the key to open the mechanical dragon. Ancient weapon. Uranus. After flying out from the ground of Mariajoy, the mechanical dragon roared in the sky, and endless lightning fell from the sky, making it bathed in thunder. Yimu jumped on the body of the mechanical dragon, opened a gap and drilled in, entered the body of the mechanical dragon, and controlled its actions. Thunder and lightning. I didn't expect you to be able to control the power of thunder. Thor turned his head to look at the flying mechanical dragon, and let out a loud laugh. It's a pity, I'm no longer the thunder god who is afraid of electricity. Thor's whole body flashed with electric light, and he jumped up and killed the mechanical dragon aggressively. Magnetic force. Magnetic field. Uranus, one of the 3 ancient weapons, is a mechanical dragon that can control magnetic fields. Li Zan watched with great interest the battle between Thor and the mechanical dragon, which was a contest between the good brothers of electricity and magnetism. Clearly, though, Uranus is no match for Thor. The ability of magnetic force and magnetic field is indeed very strong, but the mechanical dragon is only controlled by normal magnetic force and magnetic field. The thunder god of Thor Master Thunder and Lightning is the thunder and lightning transformed by the power of the thunder god in his body, which contains the divine power that can increase the destructive power of thunder and lightning. Thor and Uranus fought for more than half an hour, or Uranus fought hard for more than half an hour with his strong defense and sturdy body, and the battle finally came to an end. Uranus, who was in control of the magnetic force, was smashed into scrap by Thor, the god of thunder, and the 5 elders, who wanted to escape when things went wrong, were blocked by Aokiji and Zephyr who surrounded him. 5. Long time no see. Black Arm Zephyr took off his glasses and sneered at the 5 elders in front of him with undisguised killing intent in his eyes. If there was anyone Zephyr hated the most in the world, it was the 5 elders. It was they who turned Edward Wabel into the 7 warlords of the sea, making him and his dead students a joke. Lord Zephyr. The blonde 5 elders seemed to want to say something, but Zephyr couldn't bear to listen any longer, and his body turned into a streamer and killed him instantly. Hashirama cells not only complemented his arm, but the huge vitality in it made most of his injuries gone, and now he has redisplayed the style that his predecessor Marine Admiral should have. Alas, Mr. Zephyr is really impulsive, and I can't be without action. Hearing a lazily snort, looking at the 5 elders also had killing intent in his eyes. He was about to take the position of Marshal Marine, but the world government headed by the 5 elders got in the way, and he and Akainu had that fierce infighting. In terms of hatred, Aokiji's hatred for the 5 elders is not small. At this time, he decisively activated his frozen fruit ability, and he created dense ice, forming a wall to block the way of the 5 elders. With a knife, the 5 elders pulled out the first-generation Goosh, and said in a calm tone, "If it was just the 2 of you, it wouldn't be able to stop the 5 of us." At this moment, a golden laser beam flew through the air and hit the knife-wielding 5 elders with precision. The face of the 5 elders with the knife changed, and armament hockey covered the ghost of the first generation, directly dispersing the flying golden laser. Kizaru, what do you mean? 5 elders with knives turned their heads to look, and Kasaragi walked over, blocking his way to 480 from behind. Oh, nothing. I think you celestial dragons are dying, so I want to defect to the enemy. Kizaru said rudely, after all, I'm not interested in the impel-down prison meal, I'd rather read the newspaper and drink tea in the office. Kizaru looked at Aokiji and Zephyr across from him with a smile, and asked, if I help you take down the 5 elders, will it be considered a crime? Can this credit allow me to read the newspaper and drink tea in the office? Xingshang looked at Kizaru speechlessly, and said, in such a fierce battle just now, you didn't have many injuries on your body. Are you pretending again? Kizaru snorted and denied without hesitation. How is that possible? I was fighting with all my heart just now. But my devil fruit ability is good at dodge, so I can't do anything about it. The other side. Li Zan landed next to Thor, and slapped him on the shoulder, directly withdrawing the power of time from him, restoring him to a youthful state. Forehead. Thor, the god of thunder, felt the emptiness of thunder in his body, and said to Li Zan a little disappointedly, Li, can't you keep me in the state just now for a long time? Li Zan said angrily, what are you thinking? It's okay to be Odin's younger brother at your age. It's okay to use this state during battle. How can you maintain this state on weekdays? Thor was stunned, and suddenly said, that's true. I really looked too old just now, and it's hard to explain when I met an acquaintance. Thor said in a tangled manner, the feeling just now was really powerful. I like that feeling so much. If I can maintain that state for a long time, I can accept it when I am older. Li Zan shook his head and said, be realistic. Remember the feeling of using the Thunder God's power just now. Try the Thunder God power in Master's own body. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 214. This is your opponent. In the chat group. Senju Hashirama said speechlessly, is Kizaru serious over there? He has no morals at all. Li Zan corrected seriously. Heisalama, you are wrong. Polsolino is a man with a universe in mind, and he will not stick to such boring things as positions and camps. Golden Lion Shiki complained. This kid was a fool when he was young, and he always looked absent-minded when he was fighting. If it wasn't for his talent, and the cheating fruit like sparkling fruit, he would have been long ago, was beaten to death. One Piece Roger. So Kizaru chose to join the group owner, is it really so that he can drink tea and read newspapers in the office? Li Zan. What's wrong with this? Everyone has their own ideals, why can't Kizaru's ideal be so simple? His dream is to be able to drink tea and read newspapers in the office. As for the office and tea, the newspapers it doesn't matter who provides it. Outside world. With the combined attack of the 3 admiral-level forces of Kizaru, Xingshang, and Black Arm Zephyr, the 5 elders soon couldn't hold on. Although their own strength is also very strong, there is still a certain gap compared with Admiral. What's more, Li Zan and Thor were on the side. Although they didn't make a move, they also put a lot of psychological pressure on the 5 elders, letting them know that even if they defeated Kizaru and the others, they would not be able to leave alive. If their hearts are dead, it will be difficult for them to even exert their due strength. It didn't take long for them to be defeated by Kyabu and the others in frustration. Black Arm Zephyr came to Li Zan with a happy face and asked, Lord Li Zan, what are these people doing? Li Zan asked, what do you think? Black Arm Zephyr sneered. It would be a little too cheap to kill them directly. Celestial dragons have eaten so much of the people's fat, they should be allowed to pay their debts with labor. Li Zan clapped his hands and said, good idea, just do it. Distinguished heavenly gods. Li Zan turned his head towards the five elders and sent distinguished heavenly gods. The five elders' mental outlook changed instantly, and he wept bitterly and expressed that he would use the rest of his life to atone for his sins. The top officials of the world government and marine were all captured. The five elders were reformed under the influence of distinguished heavenly gods, and they wanted to atone for their sins with the rest of their lives. Sengoku and others accepted the reality after regaining consciousness. Under their joint operation, the news of the end of the old world government and the establishment of the new world federation spread throughout the world. With the help of Li Zan's shadow clone, 200,000 troops from the ninja world and the world of Crimson Eyes traveled around the world, and cooperated with the local king's army and marine who were willing to surrender to stabilize the situation. In the chat group, Li Zan. There are not many management talents in the chat group. Namikaze Minato is in the world of Scarlet Eye, second Mizukage is in the world of Hokage, then the management of the world of pirates is left to second Hokage Senju Tobarama. Senju Tobarama was stunned. I will manage the pirate world. Li Zan affirmed. That's right. You don't have to worry about making mistakes, after all, there are so many people helping you. I will still leave Shadow Clone in this world, you can also contact in the chat group if you encounter problems that cannot be solved. Senju Tobarama. Okay, but what about the scientific research? If I manage the pirate world, the scientific research will be put down. This time Li Zan's troops dispatched around the world were able to quickly stabilize the situation, thanks to their research on a series of things that could enhance the strength of their men. To stabilize the situation and suppress rebellions, strength is the first priority. Li Zan wondered. Scientific research. Management of the pirate world and scientific research can be done with Shadow Clone. What is there to ask about this kind of thing? Senju Tobarama said speechlessly. So, you are using me as a tool person to death. Li Zan laughed. Those who can do more work. Anyway, you are turning around now. Doing these jobs won't tire you out. The New World Federation has just been established, and there are still many things to deal with in the pirate world. However, Li Zan didn't have the patience to wait here. After leaving the matter to Senju Tobarama and others, he left the earth with Thor. That's right, he did not leave the world of pirates, but soared into the sky with Thor, the god of thunder, and came to the moon outside the earth. After arriving on the moon, Thor asked inexplicably, Li, why did you bring me here? Li Zan laughed. There is also a guy who can control lightning, just right to be your opponent. And the moon is the relic left by the space pirates, I also want to visit. Boom. At this moment, a dazzling bolt of lightning rushed from a distance, landed in front of Li Zan and Thor with a bang, and then quickly condensed into a man with long earlobes and 3 big drums behind him. Enel pointed at Li Zan and Thor with the golden stick in his hand. This is the infinite land, the territory of my god. Enel, who are you? Entering the territory of God for no reason, you must accept the punishment of God. Thor was unhappy when he heard this, and said angrily to Li Zan. Li, is he the one you said has the ability to control lightning and can be my sparring partner? His character is too bad. Li Zan angrily slapped Thor on the head and reprimanded. The crow laughs at the wild boar. Hey, do you think you are more humble than him? You really don't know how long your face is. In terms of arrogance, the two of you are half a catty. Thor was a little aggrieved, but thinking about his previous performance, he was indeed arrogant and had nothing to do with modesty, so he pinched his nose and recognized Li Zan's evaluation. Boom. Seeing Li Zan talking to Thor alone, Enel, who was displeased, raised his hand and it was a thunderbolt, but Li Zan broke it up. This is your opponent. Li Zan kicked Thor out with one kick, causing him to rush directly to Enel, and at the same time used the power of the space gem to imprison an area where they were. If you can't beat Enel, you can't come out. Li Zan said with a smile, leaving a shadow clone here to watch Thor, lest he was accidentally killed by Enel, and the body walked towards the ruins of the moon. In the chat group, Shiki the Golden Lion said strangely, as that boy with long earlobes, the one with thunder fruit ability. I didn't expect him to come to the moon. No wonder there is no information about him in the sea. Li Zan. This kid was born on Sky Island, you know. Sky Island is formed by a special cloud, the island cloud. The most precious treasure on it is the soil, which is Enel's favorite thing. Whitebeard. So he ran to the moon after seeing so much dirt on the moon. What a pity. It would have been interesting if he had chosen Red Line. One Piece Roger. No, it won't be interesting. Just a thunder fruit capable person, he can't make any waves when he goes to the Red Line. Speaking of which, the strength of this Enel is not as good as that of the 4 Emperor's ant. Do you need to leave a shadow clone to watch them? Li Zan. Thunder Thor has lost my strengthening buff, and he doesn't even have his precious weapon, the hammer. He is fighting Enel now, and the odds of winning are not very good. After all, Thor is afraid of electricity. Li Zan. Unless he is like Cake Island, he suddenly unleashes his potential and bursts out with incomparably violent thunder. But this kind of thing is a miracle, it can't happen every time. Quote. Whitebeard said speechlessly. If Thor didn't have a miracle last time, wouldn't his end be miserable? Li Zan. How is that possible? I'm watching from the side. No matter what, I won't let Odin have another grandson. But it's certain that he suffers a little bit. How can you see a rainbow without experiencing wind and rain? Li Zan. It's the same this time. When I was expecting a miracle, I also prepared preventive measures for him. To challenge a powerful enemy, it's either a miracle or death. I have to be prepared. Outside world. Li Zan has come to the ruins of the moon and seen many text images recorded here. One Piece Roger. It seems that ancient history is also recorded here. Pirates from the universe brought advanced technology to the Earth, and the two sides jointly promoted the prosperity of the Earth. Later, some dignitaries had strange thoughts and manipulated powerful technology. Weapons. Uranus waged a war for world ownership. Howard Stark. Uranus is the mechanical dragon, right? At Senju Tobarama, remember to have the wreckage collected, I want to study it. Senju Tobarama. You're late, the wreck of Uranus has been reserved by Vegapunk. Mutant Black King. Uranus can control the magnetic force and the money's magnetic field, right? I am suddenly interested in it, and I also want to study it. At Holy Keisha, do you want to join the Queen Scholar? Holy Kesha. Magnetism and magnetism. This kind of thing is nothing to study, it's too low level. Senju Tobarama. Holy Keisha is also a managerial talent. Li Zan. It should be. But she should not be interested in managing a planet or something. Although the forces she leads are higher civilizations in the universe, they never directly intervene in the management of lower civilizations. Holy Keisha. That's right. We will guide the lower civilizations, but we will not interfere with them. We also have our own belief in justice, but it is different from what the group master said. Howard Stark said in amazement. Your civilization is so advanced, are you still entangled in things like justice and evil? I thought you were a ruthless politician with no justice and evil in your eyes, only interests. Li Zan. Howard Stark, their angelic civilization is very different from what you imagined. First of all, they are theocracy, and the supreme ruler is an absolutely correct god, which should be autocratic in your opinion, right? Mutant Black Emperor. Indeed. Although I also yearn for my own dictatorship, I am still very surprised by the autocratic system implemented by higher civilizations. But if you think about it carefully, isn't this advanced civilization Asgard also an autocratic leader? Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 215 Naive to the point of stupidity. Holy Kesha. Despotism. What an interesting word. We practice theocratic despotism because our supreme leader has the greatest strength and the greatest wisdom. Holy Keisha. For a civilization of our level, collective wisdom is nothing, and individual wisdom is often more rational and excellent than collective wisdom. This is how we make the supreme ruler's priority always be above everything else. Reason. Howard Stark. What if the best rulers are selfish? Holy Keisha. This is impossible for us angels. We do everything for justice and have no selfishness. Li Zan. That's crazy. Are you all tools of justice? And I don't agree with you saying that you do everything for justice. This is no other place, so don't talk about this kind of scene. Li Zan. And it's not appropriate for you to say that you are absolutely right. After all, your wisdom is also limited. The reason why you chose to die is probably because you discovered some of your own mistakes, right? Li Zan. However, according to the rules you set, it is difficult and troublesome for you to admit your mistakes, and the impact is more complicated. So you die once and let the next king of angels change your mistakes. Holy Keisha hummed. Master, you really know a lot. Li Zan smiled. Why, I can't silence you and me. Holy Kesha. How come? I am a civilized and righteous angel. I want to ask, what do you think of the ultimate fear? Li Zan. Don't watch. Holy Kesha. Li Zan. I don't know much about the ultimate fear in your world, so I don't want to take the risk. I can gain power over the ultimate fear in other worlds, so why take the risk to study the ultimate fear? Sacred Keisha asked curiously, can you gain power over 480 and ultimate fear in other worlds? Li Zan laughed. Can't you? After I have enough strength, I don't mind going to help you see the true face of ultimate fear. Holy Keisha. That's good. When you have the strength to face the ultimate fear, I will let you go to my world and see. Li Zan was speechless. Okay. It seems that I won't be able to go to your world for a while. What do the remaining 4 newcomers think? Cosmic Overlord Boros. Since you know the existence of that bald head, are you his opponent? Li Zan. Who can say this? I can only tell you that there are not many people on that planet who can compete with that bald head. With the strength and equipment I have now, I may be able to compete with him. Cosmic Overlord Boros. Forget it. When you have the strength to surpass that bald head, I will let you go to my world. Li Zan said speechlessly. So, you uncaring undead are the most annoying. At Miyano Atsushi, I have good news for you, your 2 daughters are going to end. Miyano Atsushi said in shock, Nani? Li Zan. Do you feel weird? It's not surprising. After all, you know the organization you belong to, and there are too many members produced by that organization, not bad for your 2 daughters. Miyano Atsushi thought for a while, and asked eagerly, Master, can you save them, right? Li Zan. Of course. Give me your world pass now. Not only will you save your 2 daughters from danger, but you will also gain a son-in-law as good as me. Don't miss this opportunity, You will never come back, you BFDH are still here. Hesitating for what? Miyano Atsushi. I didn't hesitate when you said that, but instead, I hesitated. Senju Tobarama Bui said. Master, you are still so shameless. Li Zan. Shut up, this seat is taking responsibility for history. Ding. Miyano Atsushi sent an exclusive red envelope, Conan World Pass, to the group owner Li Zan. Miyano Atsushi. I especially want to ask, why is my world called Conan World? Li Zan. Because when the character named Conan appears, your world will be thrown into chaos. If you want to ask why, go there and you will know. Miyano Atsushi. Go now. Li Zan. No hurry, I have to bring that idiot Thor. This guy's inner arrogance still needs to be honed, and it can be done in the world of Conan. Outside world. Li Zan appeared near the arena where Thor and Enel were fighting, just in time to see them both collapsed in darkness. Thor is afraid of electricity, and Enel was also injured by Thor's electric current. Li Zan looked at the two who seemed to have been struck by lightning with interest, and underestimated in his heart, can lightning damage lightning? No, it is Thor's lightning with divine power. He waved his hand to release the space imprisonment around them, and the space gem in Li Zan's hand glowed, taking them to the earth of the pirate world and appearing in the rebuilding Mariajoy. This is Enel from Thunder Fruit, don't let him run away. His ability is not bad, he can shine for our organization. Li Zan pointed to Enel next to him, and requisitioned him as a tool man without any morals, so that Senju Tobarama would not waste this high-end combat power. Rest assured, Thunder Fruit is a pretty good ability, whether it is used for combat or to cooperate with research, it is a very good choice. Senju Tobarama looked at Enel up and down, and commented in a tone that looked at the goods. Enel stared at Li Zan and Senju Tobarama with a pair of dead fish eyes, and said with a final stubbornness, do you know what you are doing? You are offending a great god. Senju Fei nodded and said suddenly, so that's the case, he still needs to undergo thought transformation. Clap your hands. 2 SSG clones came over, they were cloned from the weakened cells of the top powerhouses, their combat power was stronger than that of pacifists, and they could skillfully use two-color hockey. They set Enel up one by one and dragged them out of Senju Tobarama's office. During this time, Enel struggled desperately and roared, and a large amount of electricity was released from his body. The two SSY men rewarded him with an iron fist with armament hockey, and Enel was honest. World of Conan, over Tokyo. Thor asked curiously, Li, is there any powerful existence on this planet? I feel that I have touched the threshold of using the power of Thor. Li Zan shook his head and said, I brought you to this planet not to train your strength, but to change your character. Next, you have to live on this planet as an ordinary person. Thor was stunned for a moment, and then saw Li Zan slap his body with the palm of his hand, and the power of the 3 infinity stones condensed into a 3-color pattern on his body, which turned into a seal and imprisoned his divine power. Now, not only do you lose the power of Thor, you don't even have the physical qualities of Asgardians that are far superior to ordinary people. Use the identity of an ordinary person and work hard to live on this planet. Li Zan smiled and kicked Thor down with one kick. This is the test that Odin gave you in the future. He wants to wear off your pride and arrogance. Although you are not so arrogant now. But the procedure still has to go. After all, you are far from meeting Odin's original expectations in the future. Odin in the original future despaired of you and gave up this transformation, but I am not someone who will easily admit defeat. Some secluded corner of Tokyo. With the sound of gunshots, Miyano Akemi, the eldest daughter of Miyano Atsushi, fell down weakly. Just when she felt that her life was coming to an end, Li Zan came over from a distance, raised her hand, and injected a 6 paths yang energy into her body, which made the wound on her body heal quickly. You are. Miyano Akemi was shocked. Did she meet a god? The professional killer Jinju in the Black Organization concluded that she could not survive, but the young man in front of her could easily recover her. This is not something that humans can do at all. Li Zan said indifferently. I was asked by your dead father to save you and your sister Miyano Shiho from danger. At this moment, a childish cry suddenly sounded, and a little kid ran over from a distance. Conan. Miyano Akemi was taken aback and recognized the identity of the person who came. Li Zan shook his head and said, you said that you don't know someone well. I just met this Shinigami elementary school student. Li Zan's eyes were surging, and Edogawa Conan, who ran over with a look of joy after seeing Akemi Miyano, froze in place. Miyano Akemi was stunned and asked Li Zan carefully, what's wrong with Conan? He's not a bad guy. Li Zan pouted. Don't worry, I just deleted his memory of seeing us. This is not the place to talk, let's go. In the chat group, Miyano Atsushi said depressedly, I didn't expect that what the group leader said was true, and the organization really started to attack my child. Lord Group Leader, do you know why? Li Zan. Your eldest daughter liked an American agent who broke into the organization and gave him a cover. Not only that, she also gave birth to the idea of leaving the organization and wanted to exchange 1 billion yuan for the safety of her and her sister Miyano Shi. Get out. Miyano Atsushi was dumbfounded. Master, are you sure you're not joking? Miyano Atsushi felt a little unbelievable. How could his smart eldest daughter do such a thing? Li Zan smiled. Doesn't it feel incredible? Your eldest daughter is indeed naive to the point of stupidity. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 216 Conan World, Resort. One Piece Roger asked curiously. Master, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Li Zan. Then let me put it another way. The golden lion Shiki has been hiding for 20 years, vigorously developing biotechnology, and trying to cultivate an army of beasts. Do you still remember? The golden lion Shiki said embarrassedly. What are you talking about? This is all a stupid thing I did in the past. Li Zan. Don't get excited, I'm just using what you've done as an example. If during the years you were lurking, a subordinate who knew your plan was about to leave your pirate group, what would you do with him? Quote. Shiki the golden lion laughed. What else can I do with him? Of course, I killed him directly. Li Zan. If this subordinate of yours is a brother to your chief scientist, is he going to leave with your chief scientist? Shiki the golden lion sneered. Then I must not let him die too happy. Howard Stark. In other words, is Miyano Shiho, the youngest daughter of Miyano Atsushi, an important person in the Black organization responsible for researching scientific drugs. Not only that, but their organization is also an evil criminal organization. Li Zan. Yes, mutant Black Emperor. Then his eldest daughter died not wrongly, she was just stupidly killed by herself. Alice Phil. She suddenly decided to quit the organization, should she have something to do with that US agent? Li Zan. Yeah, she felt that the reason why Akai Shuichi didn't follow her was because of her status as a member of the Black organization. So she tried every means to get out of the Black organization with her sister. Meitu Karia. It turned out to be a silly woman who was crazy about love, and suddenly felt a little sympathetic to her. Alice Phil. Me too. Li Zan. Infatuated people can be sympathetic, but stupid people are not worthy of sympathy. If Miyano Akemi investigates Akai Shuichi, he will find that it is her cousin who is related to her by blood. Meitu Ye said speechlessly. Are you kidding? Howard Tucker. This excitement, will lovers become siblings? Yes. Miyano Atsushi said stunned, could it be that the American agent that Ming Mei likes is Mary's child? Li Zan. Correct answer. Outside world. Li Zan calmly found a wealthy family and used illusion to control him to understand the situation. After confirming that he was a damn bastard, he calmly harvested half of his assets and gave him an illusion to change his mind. Miyano Akemi looked at Li Zan with some unease and asked, who the hell are you? Li Zan calmly said, didn't I tell you? I was entrusted by your dead father to save you and your sister. In addition, I suggest you investigate Akai Shuichi, who is a relative of your mother's side. You should be called cousin. Hearing this, Miyano Akemi's expression froze suddenly, her face was full of disbelief, and she lost her voice. This is impossible. Li Zan laughed. Nothing is impossible, you can investigate by yourself. Your mother Miyano Elena and Akai Shuichi's mother Akai Marie are sisters with the same mother and father. Miyano Akemi's mentality collapsed, and she ran to verify this matter without saying a word. Li Zan stroked the void in front of him and saw Thor, who was being sent to the mental hospital. He was tied to the mobile bed, and there were several big and 3 thick nurses staring at him. Poor Thor. Li Zan shook his head sympathetically, couldn't bear to watch anymore, so he closed the screen. The powerful perception ability enveloped the entire Tokyo. Li Zan quickly found the location of Shiho Miyano, and the ability of the space gem took him to teleport. Wearing a white coat, Shiho Miyano wandered around the laboratory, working hard to overcome the tasks given to her by the organization, and to study the elixir of youth that her parents had studied. Who are you? Seeing the sudden appearance of Li Zan, Miyano Shiho subconsciously wanted to call the security guard, but was controlled by Li Zan's illusion, took him away, and threw it to Miyano Akemi's side. In the chat group, Miyano Atsushi asked, as the thing that Shiho researched the subject that I once studied with her mother. Howard Tucker. What subject? Could it be some terrible drug or weapon that makes it so mysterious? Shiki the Golden Lion. Although my ferocious beast legion is not enough to conquer the world, it is not comparable to any messy research. Since the lord of the group uses my ferocious beast legion as an example, what she wants to study is not ordinary. Li Zan. Shiho Miyano and her parents are all researching the drug that the Black organization deliberately wants to get. The rejuvenation drug, the contraindicated drug that can make people overcome time. Shiki the Golden Lion. A drug that can rejuvenate people. Regardless of the results, the ambition of this research is comparable to my ambition to conquer the world. Fire Fist Ace. Did they succeed in developing this drug? Li Zan. It wasn't a complete success, but there have been cases of rejuvenation. Remember the Conan I told you about? He took rejuvenating drugs from a teenager to a child. One Piece Roger. That little kid before was Conan, right? No wonder, I thought he was a little too mature before. It turned out to be a teenager who took a rejuvenating drug, so it makes sense. Senju Hashirama. Indeed, even in the world of Hokage, where little kids are generally precocious, it doesn't feel like Conan is precocious. I thought it was a specialty of the world just now, but it doesn't seem to be. Tomisaka Tokiomi. This world is called the world of Conan, isn't it? You can name the whole world with your own name. Is that kid named Conan special? The group leader also said that he was a Shinigami elementary school student. Yamamoto Yanansai Shigekuni. The Shinigami here, shouldn't it be the Shinigami in my world? Lee Zan. Shinigami here is just a nickname, saying that no matter where Conan appears, there will be a death incident there. This kind of thing is very mysterious and difficult to explain. And if you live here for 2 days, you will know, this world the time is not normal. Senju Tobarama. Master, what are you doing in this world? Is there something in this world that interests you? Lee Zan. No. There is no extraordinary power in this world, and technology is not particularly developed. I got the pass to this world from Miyano Atsushi, mainly to turn this world into my resort. Quote. For flowers. Howard Stark. Resort. Lee Zan. That's right. There is no extraordinary power in this world, which means that the world is relatively safe, and there will be no sudden big events that cause danger. Moreover, the level of economic development in this world is very good, and there are many delicious and fun things. Lee Zan. Although the economic development level of the Marvel world is no less than here, there are all kinds of troubles and dangers. Although the world where Dad lives is not bad, it is not as good as here in terms of development level. For the next few days, Lee Zan watched the Miyano sisters who regained their freedom while silently watching Thor, the god of thunder, who lost his power. I have to say that Thor is very talented in comedy, and Lee Zan has watched him for days without getting bored. After Miyano Akemi determined that she and Akai Shuichi were siblings, the whole person became depressed. Fortunately, she had a sister by her side to comfort her. On this day, Miyano Shiho found Lee Zan and said, although we are out of the control of the Black Organization, it is not the way to go east, and left to bed all day. Lee Zan said indifferently, don't worry about it. The organization you used to belong to no longer exists, and you can walk in the sunshine with integrity. Lee Zan snapped his fingers, and several ninjas immediately appeared, giving Miyano Akemi and Miyano Shiho legal identities and assets. To deal with a black-clothed organization without extraordinary power, Lee Zan didn't have to dispatch himself at all, he only dispatched some ninjas to destroy them. In the chat group, Miyano Atsushi said stunned, Master, why can't I see the outside world? Uchiha Madara laughed and said, does this need to be said? Of course, the group owner has shut down our perception of the outside world. Senju Hashirama said silently, every time the group leader picks up girls, he will shut down our perception of the outside world. Atsushi Miyano, your 2 daughters are in danger. Howard Tucker said rudely, how can you say that? This is the kindness of the group leader. Is it appropriate for Miyano Atsushi to see how the group leader lied to his daughter? The mutant Black Emperor suddenly said, so there is such an explanation, I have been taught. Miyano Atsushi feels so good. Lee Zan. Don't talk nonsense, am I that kind of person? Atsushi Miyano, I won't hit your daughter for the past 2 days. I still have a group of girls to accompany in my pirate world, and I don't have the time for now. Lee Zan. Before I went to pirate world, I was busy with work, and I didn't have time to spend time with the girls. Now I have finally found a suitable place for vacation. How can I not bring them here to relax? Lee Zan from the outside world bought a lot of properties in the world of Conan, and then went to the world of Hokage and the world of pirates to bring girls over to play. Compared with the world of Hokage and the world of pirates, which are lacking in the entertainment industry, the world of Conan is very fun. On top of that, the world's chaotic timeline is also interesting, and those sudden holiday bashes are a surprise. Superior. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 217. Don't get excited, I'll feed 10 tails. In the chat group, second Mizukage Ghost Lantern Moon, at Lee Zan. The group leader, something happened in the world of Hokage. 2 people claiming to be the Otsutsuki clan came to the ninja world and ordered us to hand over the 10 tails, or destroy the entire ninja world. Lee Zan was surprised. Have the Otsutsuki clan finally come? Let me wait. Don't worry, I'll go right over. Lee Zan from the world of Conan came out of the gentle village and arranged the affairs here at random. As soon as his body moved, he came to the mental hospital and saw Thor, who was receiving electrotherapy on a daily basis. Plum. When he saw Lee Zan appear, Thor's tears almost flowed out, looking at Lee Zan with a grieved expression. Don't look at me like that, this is training your mood. Lee Zan said without discipline, saying that this is the training that Thor must receive, and it is also designed by Odin for him. Thor said helplessly, okay. You come to me now, have I passed the test? Lee Zan laughed. Of course. I know you have accumulated a lot of anger these days, so I prepared a few people for you to vent. Lee Zan snapped his fingers lightly, and the restraint on Thor's body disappeared instantly, and then followed Lee Zan to the world of Hokage. Hokage world. A burly and strong man was quietly suspended in the air, with a long and very feminine man sitting on his shoulders. Both of them have a pair of pure white eyes, which are the iconic white eyes of the Otsutsuki clan. The burly man is Otsutsuki Jinshi. At this time, he is looking coldly at Ghost Lantern and others in front of him, and said to the big Paulownia Taoshi who was sitting on his shoulder, 480, Master Taoshi, let me take care of these unscrupulous benefactors. Otsutsuki Peach nodded lightly, and said contemptuously, "These foolish people are nothing but failures left by the shame of Otsutsuki Kagaya's clan. How could these scattered chakras be our opponents?" Otsutsuki's peach-like body floated up, suspended in midair. Otsutsuki, who had left his mount status, sneered, and a purple electric current erupted from his body. Purple electricity. Instant body. The burly body of Otsutsuki's golden style burst out with a terrifying speed that was completely incompatible with his body shape, and in an instant he came to Ghost Lantern Moon, his fingertips burning with red flames, and his palm shot towards Ghost Lan Yan Yu and others. Boom. An invisible repulsive force collided with the red palm of Otsutsuki's golden form, and the terrifying force suddenly blasted Otsutsuki's golden form out. Nani. Both Otsutsuki Peach and Otsutsuki Gold were stunned, their eyes turned to the source of the repulsive force, a huge turning eye appeared in their sight, and behind them were a group of Hyuga clan ninjas who had activated the temporary Tenseigan. Hyuga Hiyashi pushed Tenseigan's vigilance with all his strength, and said to Ghost Lantern Moon in a low voice, "Master Ghost Lantern, we can't hold on for long." Ghost Lantern Wanyu comforted. "Don't worry, I have informed Mr. Li Zan. It won't be long before he will come here." Li Zan appeared with Thor, the god of thunder, and said indifferently, "I came a long time ago. I just wanted to see your strength, so I didn't come out." Hyuga Hiyashi smiled wryly. "Lord Li Zan, we are not the opponents of these two. The pressure on them is so strong that we don't even have the courage to fight them. If there is no such powerful weapon as Tenseigan, I doubt we would even be able to fight them. No ability to fight back." Thor looked at Otsutsuki's golden style, and said eagerly, "Li, this one who can use purple lightning is my opponent." Li Zan nodded and said, "That's right. You are not his opponent now, let me give you a strengthening buff." Li Zan clapped his hands to create a green magic circle of time. Thor's age began to grow rapidly, and the power of Thor in his body also increased rapidly. "Here we go again. This powerful feeling makes me have the urge to give up my youth." Thor, the god of thunder, felt the rapidly growing power in his body and said intoxicatedly. Blind eyes. Otsutsuki Jinshi opened his white eyes, trying to see through Thor, the god of thunder, to check the state of his body. As a result, all his white eyes could see was a dazzling thunder, and the silver electric light seemed to burst his white eyes. However, the increasingly strong aura on Thor's body was enough for Otsutsuki Jinshi to understand the problem. Not daring to let Thor's power continue to increase, Otsutsuki roared in gold style and suddenly charged towards Thor. A red ring-shaped ninja tool appeared behind him, with Rinnegan's outlandish power surging in it, firing red chakra weapons one after another. It's similar to the golden treasure of the king, but it's far different in style. Li Zan looked at Otsutsuki's golden moves, commented indifferently, and waved Thor to greet him. Thor fought fiercely with Otsutsuki Jinshi. Li Zan ignored it and turned his attention to Otsutsuki Peach in midair. Otsutsuki looked at Li Zan indifferently with his peach-like eyes, and said in a cold voice, "I sense the power of the divine tree in your body, how could you, a lowly creature, merge with the divine tree?" Li Zan was displeased when he heard the truth. "What are you pretending to be, you bastard?" He also said that he was a high-level creature. He really didn't know his face. Without saying a word, Li Zan waved his palm and released a powerful bolt of lightning, which swiftly attacked Otsutsuki's peach style. Otsutsuki smiled contemptuously, raised his palm to aim at the flying lightning, and the Rinnegan in his palm shimmered. Snapped. Ah! Otsutsuki screamed in peach style, and his reincarnation failed to absorb the lightning released by Li Zan, because the lightning released by Li Zan came from the magic power of the thunder demon Zansu. Rinnegan can absorb Chakra's creations, but he can't absorb the magic lightning from the world of Jackie Chan's adventures. Otsutsuki's peach-like palm connected to Rinnegan's palm, all of which were destroyed by Li Zan's lightning. With just a tentative encounter, Otsutsuki Peach style paid a heavy price for his arrogance. "You die for me." The Otsutsuki Peach style who lost his palm and a Rinnegan was instantly furious. A giant rock snake appeared on the ground, and a firebird flew in the sky, which was made by Otsutsuki Peach style with his own fire attribute chakra and king attribute chakra. At the same time, a huge ape was created by the Peach style, in which the fire attribute chakra and the earth attribute chakra were mixed, and the fighting power was much stronger than that of the rock snake and the flame bird. Elemental creation. A method that has not been used for a long time. Li Zan smiled indifferently, activated the golden fruit ability and the lion fruit ability, and the ground under his feet quickly deformed after turning into golden dragons roaring. The golden dragon that covered Armament Haki fought against Otsutsuki's peach-like creation, relying on the strong defense brought by Armament Haki to destroy all of Otsutsuki's peach-like creation. Damn you! Seeing that Li Zan easily cracked his methods, Otsutsuki, who was already furious, was even more annoyed, and let out a low roar. Time freezes. Otsutsuki's peach style unleashed a time force that froze the time on Li Zan, holding him in place. The power of time. I have it too. The time gem on Li Zan's ring lit up, directly shattering the Otsutsuki Peach style time standstill. You are not easy. Otsutsuki Peach finally regained his senses, and Li Zan's strength had to make him calm down and think about the problem. However, after careful consideration, Otsutsuki found that he was not Li Zan's opponent at all in his normal state. Golden. Glancing at Li Zan, who was half smiling, Otsutsuki gritted his teeth in a peach-like manner. At this time, he could only use his best move. If Li Zan can't be defeated today, the great peach-style adult is afraid that he will die on this planet and sleep forever. Hollow. Otsutsuki Kim, who received the Otsutsuki Peach call, used his hollow ability without saying a word, quickly escaped Thor's entanglement, and appeared beside Otsutsuki Peach. Come on, Lord Peach, use all my chakra. That's how my guardians gave me their chakra back then. Otsutsuki Jinshi spoke with an expressionless face, as if he was mentally prepared. Of course, Otsutsuki Jinshi raised his only remaining palm. The Rinnegan in the palm released a powerful attraction, directly absorbed Otsutsuki Jinshi, and turned it into a red fruit. Otsutsuki took the red fruit in his hand in the peach pose and swallowed it directly into his stomach. The shape of the whole person changed rapidly, and the skin turned red. Even between his eyebrows, a golden Rinnegan appeared, exuding extremely powerful pupil power. I'm so looking forward to it, and you've absorbed the Otsutsuki golden form. Seeing this, Li Zan smiled contemptuously. The three infinity stones glowed at the same time. Time stood still and space was imprisoned under the reinforcement of the power stone, directly pinning Otsutsuki's peach style in place. In the chat group, Uchiha Madara. Is this the powerhouse of the Otsutsuki clan? That's just the way it feels. It's just that time is still on him, and other means are not worth mentioning. Shiki the Golden Lion. Indeed. The monster he made out of fire and rock felt similar to the creature I made with the lion fruit ability. Li Zan. Don't underestimate him, none of you are his opponents. Do you think it's a joke if you can make Otsutsuki Kagaya prepare for the enemy? Uchiha Madara. Unless you absorb 10 tails, it's a dead end for them. Uchiha Madara refused. Why? They don't look strong. Li Zan sneered. Don't be deceived by your own vision. Remember the thunderbolts of Thor and Bud's Admiral Army. Things that look similar may be fundamentally different. After Uchiha Obito became 10 Tails Jinchuriki, Uzumaki Naruto who fought with Truth-Seeking Ball was miserable. After Uchiha Madara became 10 Tails Jinchuriki, Truth-Seeking Ball's ability became a bit tasteless. Does this mean that Uchiha Madara is inferior to Uchiha Obito in controlling the Truth-Seeking Ball? No, it just means that the Truth-Seeking Ball has lost its edge against Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke. When Uchiha Obito used the Truth-Seeking Ball to fight Naruto and Sasuke, the two didn't even dare to touch the Truth-Seeking Ball. When Uchiha Madara used Naruto Sasuke to fight the Truth-Seeking Ball, both of them were immune to it. Outside world, Li Zan looked at the imprisoned Otsutsuki Peach style and directly pulled 10 tails out of his body. Master, what are you doing? Ghost Lantern Wanyu was dumbfounded. How did the group owner give up the identity of 10 Tails Jinchuriki? Don't get excited, I'm feeding 10 tails. Li Zan said calmly, his hands tied together to control 10 tails. 10 tails spewed out a purple chain, pierced into Otsutsuki's body at once, and then sucked out all the chakra in Otsutsuki's body. The Rinnegan on Otsutsuki's peach style disappears quickly because the opening of the Rinnegan is also related to the chakra. After the associated chakra was taken away 3.7, Rinnegan disappeared. Return. After absorbing Otsutsuki's peach style chakra, Li Zan took back 10 tails and suddenly felt that his strength became much stronger. The powerful yin escape stimulated his eyes, and a pair of purple 6-hooked jade Rinnegan appeared directly, exuding extremely powerful pupil power. In the chat group, Uchiha Madara was surprised. Can Rinnegan be upgraded? Li Zan. Of course. The Rinnegan of Sage of Six Paths is also obtained from 10 Tails Jinchuriki. Rinnegan is not the end of the fairy's eye, but the Sharingan is. Uchiha Madara asked curiously. Master Group Owner, do you have a 9-hooked jade Sharingan now? Li Zan. Yes, but it's not enough. I want to make my two eyes become the Sharingan of the 9-go jade reincarnation. Senju Hashirama said in amazement, Sir, are you going to kill the Otsutsuki clan's planet? Li Zan smiled and said, Don't be so troublesome, there are still 2 people from the Otsutsuki clan in the ninja world. After absorbing all the chakra they have, my eyes should be able to evolve to the level of the Sharingan. Senju Tobarama asked curiously, what's the benefit of the evolution of this kind of eyes? It must be a good thing to keep the group owner in mind, right? Li Zan. Of course. Let 10 tails absorb chakra, the benefits are not just the evolution of the fairy's eyes. You know, chakra is the product of the fusion of physical energy and spiritual energy. After 10 tails absorbs the foreign chakra, it represents the vagina, the eyes, and the body representing Yongdun evolved at the same time. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 218 The Skills to Create Life. The Sharingan with 9 hooks on his forehead is not beautiful, so Li Zan never let him appear. What's more, the ability of the 9-go jade reincarnation Sharingan is so mediocre that the current Li Zan doesn't like it at all. What is the ability of the Sharingan of the 9-goose jade reincarnation? Infinite Tsukuyomi, an illusion that can cover the entire planet, will not be mentioned for the time being, because Li Zan can't use it at all. After all, Li Zan does not need peace in his dreams, nor does he need to collect chakra on the planet. Apart from infinite Tsukuyomi, there are very few pupils that Rinnegan can handle, and only Tien Yuzhong and Wangquan Hirazaka are still famous. However, these two pupil techniques are related to space, and it can be done with a sapphire ring. Naturally, Li Zan will not open a scary eye to complete it, which will affect his handsome image. In the past, when Li Zan didn't get the space gem, the reason why he didn't use the space ability of Rinnegan, besides the aesthetic factor, was its risk. The opening and use of this thing easily stimulated Kagai's will. The time gem shines, Li Zan uses the power of time to observe the future, and calculates the present through the future, and soon finds his goal. The space gem glowed and brought him to a special space. A huge monster roared in this space, and he looked like 10 tails, and it was a different 10 tails from Li Zan's 10 tails. There is a person sitting on the top of 10 tails' head, and the two eyes are the pupils of the white eye and the unknown. In the chat group, Uchiha Madara asked in shock, "Who is this person? There is actually a 10 tails in the ninja world." Li Zan. This is the Otsutsuki style. The people who came to Earth with Otsutsuki Kagaya in 15 years ago, they each had a 10 tails master. Because Otsutsuki Kagaya attacked him back then, he has been recovering all these years. Senju Tobarama said maliciously, "This means that even if someone's infinite Tsukuyomi is really successful, it will be easily cracked by this person who also owns 10 tails." Li Zan. That's it. Uchiha Madara. Senju Hashirama embarrassedly changed the subject. "Master, is this Otsutsuki very strong?" Li Zan. "It's not comparable to Otsutsuki's peach style, after all, he still has injuries that haven't recovered." Uchiha Shisui. "That's true. If he had recovered, he wouldn't be lying here now." Outside world. Otsutsuki looked at Li Zan, who suddenly appeared with a terrified expression, and prepared to retreat without saying a word. It's a pity that the gap between him and Li Zan's strength is a bit big. Li Zan manipulated the power of the 3 infinity stones, and he was directly nailed to the spot. Then Li Zan summoned 10 tails again, and the purple chakra chain stabbed into Otsutsuki's body, sucking all the chakras out of his body. Immediately after that, Li Zan brewed in the same way, and took away the chakra inside the number 2 10 tails. The number 2 10 tails that lost chakra shrunk quickly, and soon turned into a fist-sized seed, which is the seed of the chakra tree. In the chat group, Howard Tucker said excitedly, "Master, can I study this seed?" Li Zan. "Of course. I originally planned to send it to study, of course not for you to study alone." Senju Tobarama. "Are you coming to Pirate World? It will take a while to settle down here, but there is no problem in finding a stable place to do research." Howard Stark. "Can't you come to my side? The scientific equipment on my side is still very advanced, and there are more advanced things like the Universal Warhammer. There are more things that can be studied." Senju Tobarama. "Sounds good, let's think about it." Li Zishuan of the outside world used space transformation, and his body came to another space, and saw a man with a red fishing rod. The pure white eyes and the iconic clothes all indicate his identity as Otsutsuki clan, Otsutsuki Ura style. In the chat group, Uchiha Madara couldn't help but complain, "How come there are so many people from the Otsutsuki clan?" Senju Tobarama laughed, "Aren't you desperate? With these Otsutsuki people around, your infinite Tsukuyomi couldn't have succeeded from the start." Whitebeard. "Are there so many powerful aliens in the Hokage world? Do the cosmic pirates in our pirate world also have powers that are far superior to those on Earth?" Golden Lion Shiki. "Gia ha ha ha. Whitebeard, what are you thinking about? You're dead anyway." Whitebeard said speechlessly, "Although the old man has died, the sons of the old man are still alive. Do you think everyone is the same as you? Lonely and widows have nothing to worry about." Shiki, the Golden Lion, said disdainfully, "What's wrong with being unconcerned? Not everyone longs for family like you do." Fire Fist Ace. "Father, trust the group leader." Senju Hashirama. "What's up with this Otsutsuki Po? He actually has 2 different Rinnegans. Is this also an evolution of Rinnegan?" Li Zan. "No, he is not Rinnegan's evolution upgrade, but he has different pupil techniques that need to be switched." After suppressing Otsutsuki Pushi from the outside world, Li Zan also fed him to 10 tails. The incomparably powerful chakra surged out of 10 tails' body and returned to Li Zan and gave Li Zan a powerful energy feedback after his body. Li Zan's eyes changed rapidly, black lines appeared in the pure white eyes glowing with purple light, and then 3 Guyu and 6 Guyu appeared. Immediately afterwards, Li Zan's eyes became blood red, and 9 jet black Guyu appeared in his eyes. In the chat group, Uchiha Madara couldn't help but ask, "Master, what kind of abilities have your eyes evolved? Since your eyes have evolved, it should have given birth to new pupil techniques, right?" Li Zan. "New pupil techniques have indeed appeared, but to me they are of little value, they are all pupil techniques in terms of time and space." Namikaze Minato complained, "Master, the ability of time and space is quite precious in the ninja world." Shiki the Golden Lion. "It's not just the Hokage world, but the abilities of time and space are also quite useful in the world of pirates. Unfortunately, in our world of pirates, the one who has the ability of space is a girl with general talent, otherwise this ability is absolutely powerful." Quote. Fire Fist Ace. The spatial ability should be owned by Trafalgar Law, right? His spatial replacement is really good. It is not unreasonable that Op Fruit is so precious to be able to use the spatial ability. Doflamingo. Don't be funny. The ability in space is irrelevant at all, and immortality is the precious thing about Op Fruit. If you only look at the diversity and strength of abilities, even the price of shock fruit is difficult. Over 2 billion. Gold Thief Wu Nan. Indeed. The strength of the ability depends on the user, and Tezzolo can't compare to me in the use of the golden fruit. So even though we have the same devil fruit ability, he is not as good as me. A level. Fisher Tiger. Doflamingo, your dream has come true, right? You didn't seem to say anything when you saw the destruction of the world government with your own eyes. Senju Tobarama. Indeed. At first I thought you would be cheering and jumping up and down, but your silence is beyond my imagination. Doflamingo. Fufufufu, after all, that is a group that once belonged to me, and my mood is still very complicated. Li Zan. Because your identity as celestial dragons was once your pride. Even if you lost your identity as celestial dragons, you are proud of who you were, and proud of your identity as a descendant of 20 kings. Doflamingo laughed and said, Fufufufu, lord of the group, you really understand me. There is nothing I dare not admit, this is my mentality. Although I no longer have the identity of celestial dragons, I am still the god of creation. Descendants. Sword God Ryoma. You are really contradictory. If you learn to be a swordsman before your death, maybe you will have enough will to cut off these fetters. Doflamingo. Who knows? Those things don't make sense anymore. Say something else. As far as I know, there used to be 480 agents under the world government who had the devil fruit ability in space. Li Zan. Once the CP9 agent Bluno, the Paramesha door fruit ability, the ability to open the door anywhere. Doflamingo. That's right. I tried to recruit him before, but unfortunately he is determined to be a dog for the world government. The time and space abilities are really good, even if they are not used for combat, they are also excellent when used as a support. Uchiha Shisui. What a pity. Lord of the group, after having the 2 infinity gems of time and space, these 2 abilities are useless to him. The pupil technique brought by the excellent Jugoyu Rinnegan is very useful to the group leader. For adults, it turns out to be tasteless. Li Zan. It's not appropriate to say it's tasteless. After all, the infinity stones are foreign objects to me, while the Rinnegan's pupil technique is my own strength to me. Uchiha Madara. In addition to the improvement of Rinnegan, is there any major enhancement to the group leader's strength? Li Zan. The wood pass and recovery ability are stronger, and the 6 paths vagina and 6 paths Yongdun are stronger than before. Sword God Ryoma. Strengthening of spiritual power and vitality. That's nothing. Li Zan. No, vagina can create objects with invisible spirits, and Yongdun can breathe life into dead things. Senju Hashirama's wooden golem and wooden dragons are so strong, Yongdun gives them life. And before Otsutsuki Peach style uses, do you remember the tricks you did? Uchiha Madara. Those rock snakes, flaming birds and magma monkeys were all made by him using Yindun and chakra, and then using Yongdun to infuse life. Li Zan. That's right. In addition to these, the 9-headed tailed beasts are also made by Sage of 6 paths. After dividing the chakra of 10 tails into 9 parts, use Yindun to shape them into various animals, and then use Yongdun to give their lives. Senju Tobarama. Then this skill is amazing, it is a skill that can create life. The life created by eldest brother is temporary, it seems that his level of masculinity is not enough. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 219. I feel very moved. Lee returned to Thor's side, took back the time magic on him, and asked, how is it now? You should be able to use the power of Thor normally. Thor sighed. It's still a bit jerky, why don't you just use time magic to speed up my age? Thor looked at Li Zan expectantly, and put forward his own thoughts. You use time magic to speed up my age, and help me recover after hundreds of thousands of years, shouldn't it affect my lifespan? As if afraid of Li Zan's rejection, Thor added, it doesn't matter if it affects my lifespan, I have a long lifespan anyway. It's not a good thing to live too long, otherwise no one would think about dying. Li Zan rejected Thor with a serious face, saying, you are cheating, it will affect your strong heart. Thor said nonchalantly, you know I don't care about this, I don't even care if I'm the god of thunder or the god of hammer. Li Zan stared at Thor for a while, took out the meow hammer in his delighted eyes, and then used Yongdun to give Thor's hammer life, and soon an eye opened on Thor's hammer, a mouth appeared. Similar to Ant's soul fruit ability. My meow meow hammer. Thor, the god of thunder, was stunned and called out in pain. Li Zan turned his Thor's hammer into another shape in front of him, how outrageous. Thor's heart was agitated, he seemed to sense the power of the god of thunder in his body, and the power of the god of thunder couldn't wait to vent. But when he saw Li Zan staring at him with kind eyes, the power of the god of thunder in his body suddenly lost contact, and he was as decisive as Erha. Li Zan asked Thor with a smile, and said, why, did you sense the power of Thor in your body? Thor shook his head and said, no. Li Xiaohexuan said, it doesn't matter if you can't sense it. I gave Thor's hammer life, just to let it help you practice. Thor, the god of thunder, asked curiously, use the meow meow hammer to help me practice. Li Zan said seriously, that's right. You can't control the power of thunder and lightning in your body, because you lack affinity and understanding of lightning. The power of Thor's hammer is very compatible with the power of Thor in your body, you should feel it more. The thunder and lightning should be able to help you quickly master the power of the god of thunder. Thor suddenly had an ominous premonition, and couldn't help asking, how do I sense the thunderbolt of Thor's hammer and fight with it? Li Zan shook his head and said, you have been fighting with it for many years, but it has no effect. This shows that you used the meow meow hammer in the wrong way, so I decided to let you use it differently. Thor swallowed his saliva and asked, how do you think I should use the meow hammer? Li Zan said with a smile, in the past, you used the thunder and lightning of Meow Meow's hammer to attack others. Now you have to try to let Meow Meowping attack you with lightning. It is really embarrassing for Thor to be afraid of lightning. You should first practice a lightning and become immune. Quote. When Thor heard this, the whole person became sluggish, and said dryly, is this not good? Li Zan smiled and said, what's wrong? This method is absolutely effective. I'm afraid that you will kill yourself and give Meow Meow hammer your life at all costs. If you don't do this, will you be worthy of my efforts? Thor looked at Meow Hammer, who was staring at him, and then looked at Li Zan, who was looking forward to it. Thinking of their own efforts, I was so moved that my tears fell. What are you crying for? Happy. I'm moved, what's the point of being happy? Yes, I feel very moved. Thor gladly accepted Thor's hammer. The unselfish and selfless Mr. Meow Hammer will supervise him to use the shortest time master Thor's power. In the chat group, One Piece Roger said speechlessly, Master, you have the nerve to say Thor is cheating. You are the one who cheated the most. Li Zan retorted without hesitation. I cheated by myself, and my cheating is permanent. Can Thor be like me? His cheating is done by me. The golden lion Shiki snorted. But your old strength increased because of the help of us undead. Li Zan. That's right. But aren't we equal exchange? It's a fair deal. Yamamoto Luyuansai Shigekuni. Master, you should know about the huge problems I faced during my lifetime, right? Li Zan. I know. Yhwach of the Invisible Empire has returned, and the person who lost to you in the past has now beheaded you. Do you want me to help you get revenge? Yamamoto Ryuansai Shigekuni. What would the original future look like without the intervention of the leader of the group? Li Zan. Your death is only his first attack, you don't think this is over, do you? When he attacks the second time, the entire Lingwang palace will be captured by him, and the Lingwang will also be captured by him. Kill. Yamamoto Lu Yuansai Shigekuni was shocked. Just kidding, how dare he kill the Spirit King? The Spirit King is the core of many worlds. It is impossible for Yhwach to not know the consequences of killing the Spirit King. Li Zan. That's right. After the death of the Spirit King, Hueco Mundo, Soul Society, the present world, Hell, and the broken world all began to collapse, but Yhwach still devoured the Spirit King. Maybe it was because he didn't expect it maybe because it's emotional, but none of that matters anymore. Yamamoto Luyuansai Shigekuni said worriedly, if King Spirit really dies, wouldn't my world be destroyed? Li Zan. Yhwach devoured the Spirit King, and his corpse can be made into a new Spirit King to maintain the existence of each world. Uchiha Madara laughed. I'm very interested in this new world, there are people who can influence the world. Yamamoto Ryuansai Shigekuni. Of course. The Spirit King is the supreme ruler of many worlds, and the supreme god of all worlds. Li Zan corrected. You changed all the worlds for me. The Spirit King is only the supreme god of your Shinigami world. After seeing other worlds, has your vision changed? Yamamoto Ryuansai Shigekuni. I'm used to it. It's hard to change a habit, but I should change it. Ding. Yamamoto Luyuenjai Chonguo sent an exclusive red envelope, Zanpakuto, Ryujin Jaka, to the group owner Li Zan. Shiki, the golden lion, was surprised. Can the knife be sent out too? It shouldn't be. Others, who can send their items to the group owner? One Piece Roger. I bet the Zanpakuto is a special kind of knife that is definitely different from what we understand. Uchiha Madara. Zanpakuto and Rinnegan should be the same thing. Although they are objects, they can also be regarded as their own abilities. Yamamoto Ryuansai Shigekuni. Zanpakuto was cast by Shinigami using his own soul as a prototype, and it can be said that it is a part of ourselves. Lord of the group, can you help me solve the problem of Yhwach? Li Zan. Of course. Yhwach has a lot of great guys under his command. Who is interested in learning from them? Uchiha Madara. Me, Senju Hashirama. Count me in. Li Zan. Just the two of you. At Uchiha Shisui, aren't you going? Senju Tobarama and Namikaze Minato have management jobs to do, you should have plenty of time, right? Uchiha Shisui. Master, I don't like fighting. Li Zan. Forget it. After all, your strength is almost meaningless, so don't be hacked to death by Zanpakuto. I told you in advance that this time the opponent can directly attack the soul. Shiki the golden lion. Gia ha ha ha. Wouldn't that be more interesting? In our current state, only pain can make us feel alive. It's decided. This time I'll go too. One Piece Roger. Can it hurt the opponent of rebirth? Count me in. Whitebeard. Gu la la la. I'm also interested. Bring me. Sword God Ryoma. Do all the Shinigami in the Shinigami world use Zanpakuto? I also want to see it. Since Zanpakuto is used as a weapon, the mighty Shinigami's swordsmanship should be good, right? Lee Zan. Of course. If you have time and money, you can meet a lot of people who are good at using swords. Kenpachi. This title is equivalent to the world's largest swordsman in the Hokage world. In the current Shinigami world, many generations of Kenpachi are still alive. Quote. Sword God Ryoma. Interesting, then I must go and see it. Lee Zan. Very good. The members of the Living Dead Pirates have changed, and now they are reorganized. At Yamamoto Luyuansai Shigekuni, give me the pass to the world of Shinigami. As long as the group members need it, my Living Dead Pirates will definitely help. Help the place. Ding. Yamamoto Luyuenjai Chonguo sent an exclusive red envelope, Shinigami World Pass, to the group owner Lee Zan. One Piece Roger. Shinigami. It seems that in his world, Shinigami is the protagonist. Second Mizukage Ghost Lantern Moon. That's not necessarily. The Hokage world still has Hokage as its name, so what? Konoha and Hokage IV died. Namikaze Minato said speechlessly. Although I am fourth Hokage, Konoha didn't die in my hands. Uchiha Madara. Although you are not the one who did it directly, you are also the one who fuels the flames. Not only you, but everyone in the chat group contributed to the flames. Of course, those who joined later are not considered pools. Lee Zan. It's okay to say that. When I banned all shinobi villages, everyone in the chat group was not innocent. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 220. The generation is weaker than the generation. Shinigami World. Lee Zan appeared in the Invisible Empire, walked slowly towards Yohabak sitting on the throne, and looked at each other with great interest. Yohabak looked at Lee Zan with suspicious eyes, and asked, It's surprising, can you tell me your origin and identity? In the chat group, Yamamoto Ryusai Shigekuni laughed. Sure enough, this arrogant bastard doesn't know your identity and origin. Lu Xing. This is normal, and the so-called omnipotence of Yohabak is limited to his world. Howard Stark is not calm, omniscient and omnipotent. Lee Zan replied. That's right. Of course, just like the omnipotent eight-element god in the world of stealing stars, all abilities have a range. The omnipotence of Yohaba is also limited to the Shinigami world. Sacred Keisha said disdainfully. Omniscient and omnipotent. What an arrogant ability name. He does not require him to have omnipotent power, as long as he has omniscient knowledge, he should walk out of his own world. Through Lee Zan, the holy Keisha can also sense the strength of Yohaba. Such a weak chicken dared to claim to be omniscient and omnipotent, which made holy Keisha very upset. As the strongest person in the known universe in her own world, she did not dare to add this title to herself. On the contrary, as a scholar, she is very aware of her weakness and ignorance. For a wise man, the more he knows, the more he understands his ignorance. Outside world. Facing Yohaba's question, Lee Zan smiled indifferently, shook his head and said, You don't need to know this, because you know it's meaningless. Yohabak's eyes turned cold and he sneered. It seems that if you want to tell the truth, you have to take some special measures. Of course, it doesn't matter if you are unwilling to cooperate, I have a way to see your memory. As soon as he finished speaking, the overwhelming Reiatsu came towards Lee Zan. Yohabak took the lead and launched a sharp attack on Lee Zan. Under the control of Yohabak, the huge amount of spiritual power turned into -480 huge arrows, which shot towards Lee Zan overwhelmingly. Lee Zan calmly raised his fist, the white halo of shock fruit was rendered purple by the energy of the power gem, and along with Lee Zan's punch, a powerful purple shock wave swept out, shattering all the flying arrows of spiritual power. Nice ability. Yohabak's eyes lit up, and he felt a sense of happiness. The next blow will be very hot, I hope you don't turn to ashes. Ryujin Jaka. Solved. The residual fire is two sword, the north, the ashes of heaven and earth. The Zanpakuto solution that Yohabak stole from Yamamoto Luyuansai Shigekuni was easily displayed by him at this time, and the powerful and hot sword chi swept towards Lee Zan. It's so hot. However, your temperature has not reached the point where you can shake the space. Lee Zan smiled lightly, the power gem and the space gem glowed at the same time, the purple and blue power entangled with each other, turned into a space wormhole and swallowed the hot sword energy of the residual fire sword. It's my turn. I will return the moves you used to me. Lee Zan broke Yohaba's Ryujin Jaka solution at will, and then returned Yohaba's move to him as it was, and hit Yohaba with his hot sword energy. Why do you have this trick? Yohabak was flustered, how could Lee Zan use Ryujin Jaka's solution? This is not scientific. Pung. In the face of the scorching sword energy whistling, Yohabak wanted to dodge or defend, but the invisible force of space pinned him in place, even preventing him from taking effective defensive measures. The sanctuary praise, which was about to be released, also became impossible to perform under the suppression of this power of space. So Yuhabok could only watch helplessly as the hot sword chi roared, and mercilessly devoured him and burned him. In the chat group, Yamamoto Luyuansai Chonguo said excitedly, Master, why did you burn him? We agreed to replace the Spirit King with his corpse. Li Zan. The current Spirit King has not been swallowed up by him, so there is no need to replace the Spirit King with his corpse. Yamamoto Luyuansai Shigekuni. Even if you don't need it now, it's better to keep it prepared. Li Zan. Okay, I'll get his body back. Li Zan raised his palm from the outside world, and a green magic circle of time appeared in his hand, restoring Yohaba, who was destroyed by Li Zan, and then killing him again on the premise of preserving his body. Doflamingo. Fufufufu, old man Yamamoto, do you want to kill the Spirit King directly and replace the Spirit King with this corpse? Yamamoto Ryuansai Shigekuni. Nonsense. Doflamingo. Fufufufu, it's not surprising to have this idea, and there's nothing embarrassing to admit it. Compared with a real king, everyone prefers a corpse that doesn't point fingers at themselves. Yamamoto Lu Yuenjai Chonguo. Huh. This old man is different from you, and there is no such boring idea. This old man just wants to leave a guarantee for future generations, lest one day another lunatic like Yuhabok kills the King of Spirit. Yamamoto Luyuansai Shigekuni. When King Ling dies, the whole world will be destroyed. In such a dangerous thing, it is best to have an insurance measure. The body of Yuhabok is the insurance that I left behind. Meitu Karya. Master, the Fifth Holy Grail War is about to begin. Li Zan said in surprise, so soon. Could it be that the command spell has already appeared? Tomisaka Tokiomi. There are differences in the passage of time in different worlds, and time in our world passes very fast. Although the command spell has not yet appeared, it is already close to the time that the group master said before. Li Zan. The time I said before. Got it. The 10-year magic accumulation period is almost over, isn't it? Meitu Karya. Yes, Li Zan. When the command spell appears, you guys will inform me immediately. The rest of the Shinigami world, how are things going on your side? Uchiha Madara. Everything went well, and all of Yohabok's men were dealt with. Li Zan was surprised BFDH so fast. Their strength is not weak at all. Senju Hashirama. We met the reinforcements formed by the Shinigami, and the soldiers combined to destroy each other. Now we are playing with these Shinigami friends, and these guys are very good. Sword God Ryoma. Indeed. Especially that Zaraki Kenpachi, I feel that his strength is stronger than what he showed. It is said that this is the strongest Kenpachi. Yamamoto Yanansai Shigekuni. Zaraki Kenpachi. You can go and challenge the woman named Unohana Retsu. Although she is a medical person on the surface, she is actually the first-generation Kenpachi. Sword God Ryoma said unconcernedly. What about first-generation Kenpachi? The first generation is not necessarily the strongest. Like the Hokage world, where each generation is weaker than the next, shouldn't it exist in the Shinigami world? Senju Tobarama said angrily. How dare you talk about our Hokage world? Your pirate world is not much better. The most powerful weapon in the world is the ancient weapon invented by the ancients. Aren't you also weaker from generation to generation? Yes, if you have the ability to surpass the ancients, show it to me. Dad. Oh, if you look closely, Dad's world is also weaker from generation to generation. In ancient times, there were demons and ignorance, and now there are only some remnants from ancient times. Lu Xing. It's the same for us to steal the Star World. When the ancient Shilin kingdom ruled the earth, there were countless people with superpowers. Now there are only a dozen people with superpowers in the world. Dongfang Lonely Moon. A generation is weaker than a generation. Our world does not have this problem. Han Fei. According to my investigation, our world also shows no signs of modern decline. Sword God Ryoma. Who cares about your world? Lord of the group, Zaraki Kenpachi should be the strongest Kenpachi, right? Kenpachi is generally the latter defeating the former, and the truth is that one generation is stronger than the other. Li Zan. Zaraki Kenpachi is indeed the strongest Kenpachi. He reached the pinnacle of kendo at a very young age. However, in order to prevent himself from losing his opponent, he chose to ban his own strength, and was no longer obsessed with continuing to become stronger, so, do you understand? Sword God Ryoma said in amazement. No way. He gave up his attachment to becoming stronger, is he serious? Shiki the Golden Lion laughed and said, can't you bear the loneliness of reaching the top alone? It seems that this kid lacks a strong mentality. What if there is no opponent? This is the realm I have been pursuing. Yamamoto Yanansai Shigekuni. It's disappointing, but Zaraki Kenpachi did it. He hasn't gotten stronger for many years, and he's even weakened. Li Zan. It's normal. Suppress your own strength and play chess with the stinky chess basket. It's a strange thing if you don't lower your level after a long time. But don't worry, Zaraki Kenpachi can still be rescued. He fights to the death, and under the crisis of life and death, he will regain his strength and improve. Sword God Ryoma. Really? Then I'd be happy to witness all this. Shiki the Golden Lion. Me too. By the way, is that Unohana Retsu strong? I don't like fighting with women, but strong women are an exception. Li Zan. As the first-generation Kenpachi, Hana Retsu is now as powerful as Zaraki Kenpachi. Don't underestimate her just because she is a woman, it will suffer a lot. One Piece Roger sighed. Zaraki Kenpachi, ah. In the age group that should improve his strength has declined, and it is unreasonable to look at it. Lee Zan. There is nothing to sigh, and this situation is not the only one. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, who were originally from the future, also experienced a decline in their strength at the peak of their lives. Lee Zan. No, I can't even describe them with a decline in strength. I can even tell you that the two of them experienced a plummet in strength after saving the ninja world. Any cat or dog can spend 2 weeks with them. Senju Tobarama was speechless. This is really a tragedy. Thomas Wayne. Master, do you know any information about me? I want to know if I need to go back and have a look. Lee Zan. Don't worry, your son is alive. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 221 This is the fault of the world. In the chat group, Whitebeard asked in surprise, is this Thomas Wayne also killed with his son? Thomas Wayne. Accurately, it was our family of 3 that was in danger. I'm sure I'm dead, but not sure if my wife and son are still alive. Lee Zan. Your wife died with you, but your son survived. Thomas Wayne. What was he like in the future? Lee Zan. In the future, he has a darker heart and doesn't trust anyone. He disguised himself as a playboy, but a group of psychological perverts found out his true identity and provoked him every now and then. Thomas Wayne lost his composure for a moment, and without saying a word, issued the 600th world pass to Lee Zan. Lee Zan smiled and said, very well, I'll take you to see your son right now. Thomas Wayne. Please, Lord, please change my son's fate. 600th world, Gotham City. Lee Zan's body appeared on a secluded street, and Thomas Wayne in the chat group immediately recognized the place, saying it was where he was killed. Meow. A cat meow caught Lee Zan's attention, and the beautiful cat star stood in the corner, staring at Lee Zan with interest. In the chat group, Dad spoke at the first time. Oh. Dad sensed the breath of magic, this cat has magic on it. Thomas Wayne was surprised. No way. I know there are many magical existences in my world, but there is such a thing as magic in a mere cat. Lancelot. I also sense the magic in this cat is not easy. Lee Zan. Of course it's not easy, because this cat is a divine pig from Egypt. Howard Stark mused. Egypt. That's no wonder. In that place, the cat is regarded as the incarnation of Shinigami. Lee Zan from the outside world stretched out his hand, and the invisible attraction erupted. The comet pounced towards Lee Zan with claws and claws, screaming in panic, and was caught by Lee Zan in his hand. Don't call. I put 2 more hands on the Egyptian cat, and finally made its fur smooth, and the cat's mouth made a comfortable purr. Hey. However, as soon as Lee Zan stopped, the cat man ran out without hesitation, using his 4 claws to escape quickly. Run. You can't run. Lee Zan smiled. When he was carrying the cat, he left a flying thunder god mark on the other person's fur, which can be teleported to the other side in an instant. Flying thunder god technique. Lee Zan used the flying thunder god technique to move his body, and instantly appeared next to the Egyptian cat, and then saw a sexy girl in a leather coat, holding the Egyptian cat in his arms to comfort him. In the chat group, Howard Stark was surprised. Damn it. This girl is so sexy, how can she dress like this at night? She looks like a female thief. Lee Zan said speechlessly. She is a female thief who specializes in stealing treasures. Howard Stark didn't believe it. No way. Just because of her looks and figure, it's not easy to find a rich Kazi. Lu Xing said disdainfully. Not all women are willing to sell their looks, there are too many beautiful and powerful women. Lee Zan. Right. Juyu Ishin in Stealing Star World is like this. You can eat with your face, but you have to rely on your strength to eat. Irisville. What's wrong with relying on strength to eat? Lee Zan. Very good. Except for breaking the law, everything else is perfect. Alice Phil. Thomas Wayne sighed. Since it's a female thief, the masters should arrest him. It's not appropriate to keep a criminal with a magical creature like the Egyptian cat. Lee Zan. Isn't it okay? Look at her appearance and figure, it's not safe to be sent to prison. Or I'll make a grievance and leave him a vacant seat in my basement. Thomas Wayne said speechlessly. That's really wronging the lord of the group. Lee Zan is righteous. No grievances, everything is for the harmony and stability of Gotham City. Outside world. Catwoman looked at Lee Zan vigilantly, and the Egyptian cat meowed twice to communicate with her. Catwoman instantly realized the danger of Lee Zan, and turned around and ran away without a word. Steal something. Just want to run. Come back to me. Lee Zan smiled and waved. The invisible attraction pulled both the Egyptian cat and Catwoman to his body. I'm robbing the rich to help the poor. Catwoman said confidently. I stole all the bad guys in Gotham City. They used their own despicable methods to obtain wealth from the citizens. I just stole their dirty money. Whitebeard in the chat group said with a smile. Rob the rich to help the poor. It's interesting, the old man appreciates this pig girl. Lee Zan of the outside world said with disdain. rob the rich to help the poor. Catwoman nodded and said, yes. There is a big problem in Gotham City. The rich can reasonably and legally rob the poor of everything, but the poor cannot retaliate against the rich within the scope of the law. If so, then it doesn't matter what's legal or not. Li Zan nodded and said, you have some truth in what you said. Then I ask you one thing. What do you call robbing the rich to help the poor? Whose poor are you helping? Catwoman said confidently, I am poor. In the chat group, Whitebeard said speechlessly, this girl is really talented, the old man is really wrong. Shaki, the golden lion, said disdainfully, don't come. Aren't you the same as him? Fire Fist Ace. I don't want to, my hometown is the one who helps my father. One Piece Roger. It's almost the same. It's all about robbing others for yourself, this is the pirate. It's a hero to share the robbed things with others. Outside, just as Li Zan was about to capture Catwoman and put her in the basement, a roar of flames rang out, and several darts were fired from a distance. A layer of invisible repulsive force spread on Li Zan's body, and the incoming darts bounced off, and then a Batman with thin metal wings appeared in front of Li Zan. Let go of that lady. Batman looked at Li Zan with a cold expression, and spoke in a very suppressed voice, feeling a little annoyed in his heart. In Gotham City, who doesn't know that this city is covered by his Batman? To make such a faceless mess, he must be thrown into Arkham Asylum. Li Zan said to Batman with a look of contempt. It's said that bats don't have very good eyes, which seems to be true. Don't you see that this lady is a thief? Batman was stunned and said to Li Zan, you want to be a superhero in Gotham City? Li Zan laughed. Can't you? Batman nodded. Of course. But in order to ensure that you are not a liar, I need to verify your identity. Li Zan sneered. I am above board, you are wearing a mask, I think you need to verify your identity more. Dot for flowers. Batman didn't speak, made a preparation to subdue Li Zan, and then was suppressed by Li Zan without any suspense. Li Zan smiled and put on the mask of Batman. Come on. Let me see what Batman, the superhero who guards Gotham City, looks like. The mask was removed, revealing Bruce Wayne's face. Li Zan exclaimed with an exaggerated look, isn't Gotham a famous playboy and velvet boy Bruce Wayne? It's surprising. In the chat group, Thomas Wayne said stunned. Bruce is so old. Also, what's the matter with him now? Li Zan. After seeing the gangster kill his parents with his own eyes, he was stimulated and determined to fight crime in his own way. He studied fighting techniques all over the world, and with the help of a butler and a series of technological props, become a superhero without superpowers in the DC universe. Howard Stark. How do I feel that this person is in a similar situation to Tony? Li Zan. There are indeed some similarities. They all rely on technological weapons to defeat the enemy without their own superpowers. They are all billionaires, who are both playboys and superheroes. In the hero team, they are all souls. Point 0. Li Zan added here. They are all responsible for the box office and can save the existence of their own company with personal movies. Thomas Wayne was speechless. So he disguised himself as a playboy in order to disguise his superhero status. You should have made it clear at the time. I thought he disguised himself as a playboy for what? Li Zan said with disdain. His disguise can only deceive the ignorant petty citizens, and all the powerful villains in Gotham City know his true identity. Even those supervillains will cooperate with him and help him deceive those who know his true identity. People eradicated. Thomas Wayne couldn't believe it. No way. Bruce is a superhero, why would those supervillains help him? Li Zan. Maybe because Batman is charismatic, or because Batman always helps them, maybe because they see Batman as the same kind of person. Thomas Wayne. Wait, I can understand you saying that Bruce is attractive, what's the matter with you saying that Bruce helps the supervillain and is seen by the supervillain as the same kind of person? Li Zan. This said that Bruce helped the supervillains, naturally not helping them under normal conditions, but just showing up when they did bad things, stopping them and sending them to a mental hospital. Thomas Wayne stunned. What does this help them? Li Zan. Bruce sticks to the bottom line and never kills criminals. That is to say, after killing and setting fires, those supervillains are at most beaten by Bruce and then sent to a mental hospital for recuperation. But the defense of that mental hospital, the measures suck, they can easily escape from it. Thomas Wayne. Howard Stark was speechless. So, Bruce Wayne is a fanboy. He disguised himself as a superhero and was actually covering for the supervillains. Li Zan. He shouldn't think so, but those supervillains will definitely think so based on reality. It's not his fault either, it's the world's fault. On. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 222 Heroes are sad at Beauty Pass. Uchiha Madara. It seems that this is also a tragic world. Lord of the group, can you elaborate? Why do you say all this is the world's fault? Li Zan. It's a bit inaccurate to say that it is the fault of the world. To be precise, it should be said that it is the fault of the rulers. There are not many capital punishments in this world, and the mentally ill should not be held responsible for crimes. Thomas Wayne. Is it still the case now? I saw the downsides of this in the first place. It's a pity that even with my energies, I can't easily change these rules. Senju Hashirama. The rulers of this world do not impose many death sentences, is it like the world government? Lock up the most vicious criminals in order to use them to complete the experiment. Xuan. If only that was the case. The rulers of this world are so bastards, for their own sake, they let the death penalty disappear. They don't keep those criminals useful, they really don't kill them. Kill those criminals, even if those criminals murder and set fire to all kinds of crimes. The 600th world is notoriously dark, which is a big reason why they are not as famous as Marvel. The heroes of Marvel, the villains of DC, the superheroes of the 600th world are usually very aggrieved. Even if 480 is their theme movie, the main content is to watch their nemesis show there. They often have to wait until the last moment of the movie before they can fight back to the limit. Fisher Tiger. I feel that the ruler of this world is not as good as the world government of the pirate world. The world government has at least built a large underwater prison, using cruel punishments to deter criminals and make people think twice when committing crimes. Row. Xuan. That's right. Even in the world of pirates, the cost of crime is higher than that of Earth in the 600th world. Of course, the lack of the death penalty is only one aspect. The inaction of the ruler, the rampant and domineering dark gangs, and the innocence of mental illness are also important reasons. Quote. Xuan. Many of the supervillains who fight Batman are mentally ill. So after Batman catches them, he will throw them in a mental hospital instead of sending them to prison. Uchiha Shisui wondered. Since these supervillains were never executed, why do you say that Batman saved them? Xuan. These supervillains can be legitimately and legally killed when they fight against the police. The police may kill them, but the mighty Batman won't. The mighty Batman won't break the law, he can control the degree of not killing them. Second Mizukage Ghost Lantern Moon. Then these supervillains should really thank Batman. From the standpoint of supervillains, it's not surprising that Batman is protecting them. Xuan. More than that. The supervillains in Gotham City are almost becoming fans of Batman, and some supervillains even think that Batman is playing games with them. Thomas Wayne has a hard time accepting. Do games. Xuan. Yes. They think that Batman has a serious mental illness that can only be relieved by beating criminals. Batman deliberately protects the supervillains, because he is afraid that after the supervillains are killed by the police, he has nothing to vent. Object. Thomas Wayne. What are you kidding? This is ridiculous. Is it a lunatic who came up with these inferences? Xuan. Didn't I tell you? Batman's opponents are basically mentally ill psychopaths, and it's not surprising that they come up with any inferences. Senju Hashirama. I think there's some truth to these psychotic inferences, after all Batman's behavior fits that theory. And I think it's absurd that the rulers of this world seem to think criminals are more important than ordinary people. Xuan complained. Who said no? Super villains hurt innocents and they turn a blind eye, and when super criminals are to be eliminated, they respect human rights. Or how about the darkness of the 600th world? The ruler's heart is too dark. Thomas Wayne. Master, you should be able to help eliminate those mental illnesses. Xuan. Of course. I can help you with everything except the clown, your son's #1 enemy. Thomas Wayne asked curiously, is there anything special about that clown? Xuan. The clown is a symbol and phenomenon, not specific to a person. If the current clown is killed, the person who kills him is likely to become the next clown. Uchiha Madara was surprised. Isn't it? Lord of the group, if you are so strong, will you also become a clown? Xuan. Who knows? The clown represents a crazy and extreme idea, and no one knows if I will be infected by it. If I am really infected by the clown's mental virus, then the universe is afraid it's over. Thomas Wayne hurriedly said. Since the risk of this matter is so great, then don't try it. Strengthen the care of the clown and ensure that he will not come out to do evil. Dad. Did the clown mentioned by the group owner also receive care similar to Black and Righteousness? The clown represents a part of the universe. Once it disappears, it will cause an imbalance of yin and yang, and then the world will give birth to a new clown. To replace him. Xuan. Yes, it's very similar to this one. Uchiha Madara. Master, what are you going to do with this Batman? Thomas Wayne exclaimed. Master, this is my son. He offended you because of his ignorance, please be merciful. Xuan. Don't worry. I'm not the kind of indiscriminate person, let's see how I make him willing to be punished. Xuan from the outside world looked at Batman who was controlled by his own gravitational magic, and said indifferently, Batman, do you know the crime? Batman was stunned for a moment and hummed, what's my guilt? Xuan said blankly. You indiscriminately identify me as a criminal. Do superheroes judge people by their appearance? If I don't have the strength, do you have to pick me up first and then resolve the misunderstanding? Batman. Makes sense. But Bruce felt that he couldn't blame him. Just looking at Catwoman's look, 99% of men would choose to protect Catwoman when facing Xuan and Catwoman. Shame to say, even the so-called ruthless Batman, when facing the female villains, is often smashed into the sand, and he is not clear with many female villains. If there is no sudden appearance of Xuan, it is estimated that Batman will be used by Catwoman to use her beauty. Color teasing. Heroes are sad for beauty pass. Batman feels that although he is a superhero, he is still not out of the category of men, and it is not a big deal to make such mistakes. However, what Li Zan said made sense. He did feel sorry for Li Zan for making such a mistake, so he sincerely admitted his mistake. Li Zan sneered. Don't think that admitting mistakes is the end, and you will have to fight later. Do you think that judging people by their appearance is everything? As a vigilante who is not recognized by the people and the government, you are asking yourself to verify the identity of those who stand up for justice. Li Zan looked Batman up and down, and sneered. What's the matter? Do something good in Gotham City, and you have to report to you Batman. If someone wants to be a superhero in Gotham City, do they have to get it first? Your approval. Snapped. Li Zan slapped Batman on the shoulder, pointed at Batman and said angrily, what are you doing? It's absurd. Do you think you're king of land? You debuted early in Gotham City. Has it become yours? Batman grinned in pain and retorted angrily, even a superhero has the possibility of blacken, I'm just taking precautions. Li Zan said with disdain, I understand. In order to prevent the superheroes from causing huge damage to the world after blacken, you have to take measures against them first, right? This way you can quickly subdue them after blacken. Bruce said in shock, how do you know? Li Zan disdainfully said, how do you know that? I ask you, what if it was you Blacken? You investigated the other superheroes so clearly, wouldn't Blacken be able to easily eliminate them all? Quote. Bruce said confidently, I know other superheroes, and they are the means to prevent my Blacken. Li Zan pondered. Those superheroes you know, do you have a plan for them? If so, what's the point of this preventive measure? They can't know the situation at the moment of your Blacken, at that time, it will definitely be solved by you first and foremost, with the targeted plan prepared in advance. Batman was stunned for a while, then said embarrassedly, I still have my assistants, and they can restrict me too. Li Zan laughed, your housekeeper. Batman was surprised and said, that's right. I'm just an ordinary person who can use wisdom, and defeating the enemy requires the cooperation of technological means. Most of my technological means require the cooperation of the housekeeper. Without his help, I will be strong. A big drop. Li Zan touched his chin and said, this preventive measure is a bit interesting, but it can only limit your strength. It is impossible to stop you. After all, the housekeeper is not your opponent. Li Zan raised his palm, lightning surged in his palm, and slapped Batman with a snap, using lightning therapy to punish Batman for his recklessness. I believe that with this lesson, the future Batman will definitely mature a lot. Thinking of this, Li Zan is full and relieved. Helping others is often so unpretentious and boring. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 223 let him admit that he is sick. After receiving Li Zan's electric shock treatment, Batman wandered back as if drunk. In the chat group, Thomas Wayne said unbearably, Master, is this a bit too much? Li Zan sneered. Is it over? If this can cure his suspicion, then you will make a lot of money. Howard Stark smiled and said, since the group owner said so, it must be something absurd that Bruce did in the original future. Thomas Wayne asked curiously, Master, is this really the case? Li Zan. Of course. In the original future, a group of superheroes on Earth formed a Justice League. Your super suspicious and good son used the trust of his teammates to get a clear picture of them. Senju Hashirama was speechless. I have an ominous feeling that this Bruce is beating his teammates. Li Zan. That's not true. He just made a plan that can deal with all the superheroes, and then accidentally let the supervillain get his plan. Then, Bruce's teammates were miserable. Uchiha Madara said with a smile. The ability to deceive one's own people feels a bit like Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo. It's useless when facing foreign enemies, and it is fierce when fighting against one's own people. Li Zan. It can't be said that Bruce still has two strokes when dealing with the enemy. Although he is the same as Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo, he is always extra kind when dealing with the enemy. Senju Hashirama. Does the group leader mean that Bruce is more ferocious when dealing with superheroes than supervillains? Thomas Wayne stunned. No way. Bruce can't be so stupid. Li Zan. Don't worry, how can Batman be so stupid? There is no level of good or bad in his eyes, only the level of threat. Like the superheroes in the Justice League, even if they are good people, their great strength determines their greatness. Threat level, so Bruce won't show mercy to them. Li Zan. But the Batman fans in Gotham City are different. Although they kill and set fire and commit all kinds of evil, they are too weak, so Batman will graciously allow them to live. Li Zan. The superiors often only look at interests and positions, not right or wrong and good and evil. Although Bruce is not so cold-blooded, his way of thinking is somewhat similar to this kind of thinking. He came out of the family and was trained to think like a superior from an early age. When Batman beats Superman, it's a real fight to the death. After all, Superman's strength is too strong and the threat is too great, he is not qualified to consider the principle of no killing, and he will win first. Mutant Black King. That means, if Gotham City's mentally ill have powerful destructive power. Li Zan. If those mentally ill people have the powerful abilities of Charles and Eric, Batman will definitely forget his principle of not killing. After all, he is not a pedantic idiot. Golden Lion Shiki. Jia ha ha ha. The principle of no killing. This reminds me of the unlucky guy from Zephyr. It seems that this Bruce is not so pedantic. Li Zan. Of course. Batman doesn't kill because he doesn't think he has the right to decide the life and death of others, and he doesn't want to break through his own bottom line. After all, after this thing breaks through, it's almost impossible to return to its original state. Li Zan. But if there is a villain who wants to destroy the world and has the corresponding ability, this principle will definitely be broken. The world is going to end, why do you care so much? Although Batman has the principle of not killing, the 600th world, like Marvel, restarts in various parallel universes and time, and Batman kills many times. Even in the beginning of the comics, Batman has no principle of not killing at all, which is a setting added to him later. Senju Hashirama. Got it. Some of the superheroes with Bruce are too powerful to control, so Bruce has a plan to destroy them. Is that right? Li Zan. Almost. Maybe Bruce didn't want to kill them in the first place, but that's not the case when the supervillain gets the plan. I have to say that Batman is a big hole, so insecure people didn't hide it well. The plan. The plan is the most threatening thing, okay. Howard Stark said enthusiastically. Then what? After Bruce made such a big news, how did it end? Li Zan. Superheroes are okay, Bruce was fired. Senju Hashirama. Deserving it. Worrying about others endangering the world all day long, I think he is the one who threatens the world the most. Other superheroes threaten the world in power, but he threatens the world in thought. Quote. Thomas Wayne was a little embarrassed. Bruce is not so bad, I believe he will get better. Lord, Bruce is a qualified superhero, right? He is a good person. Li Zan. No, your family Bruce calls himself the Dark Knight of Gotham City and wants to use darkness to deter crime. Maybe, he never regarded himself as a superhero and a good guy. He deters criminals like a bat in the shadows, is what he wants. Mutant Black King. Speaking of this, Tony Stark, who is in a similar situation to Bruce, has he done something similar to Bruce's brain damage? Li Zan. Yes, Howard Tucker said speechlessly. No way. In the original future, what did my Tony do? Li Zan. In order to protect the Earth from the invasion of aliens, Tony Stark decided to build a robot army. Let the robot army fight the aliens, which can effectively reduce the damage of the people on Earth. Howard Stark. That's a good idea. It's completely different from the situation where Bruce guards his teammates. What did Tony get wrong? Li Zan. In order to better control robots, Legion Tony Stark has studied an artificial intelligence, Ultron. Howard Stark said speechlessly. I bet that this artificial intelligence is out of control, right? I have seen too many similar conjectures. To be honest, artificial intelligence is indeed a beautiful and dangerous thing. Li Zan. Yes, Tony Stark's setting for Ultron is to protect the Earth. Ultron was born and connected to the network of people on Earth. After receiving a lot of information, he began to calculate, and finally came to the conclusion that it is the eradication of human beings. Truly protect the planet. Mutant Black Emperor. This is too fucked up. It seems that Tony Stark made the mistake that the group owner said before, he equated human beings with the Earth. Human arrogance, I really think he can represent Earth. Howard Stark. After the unselfish calculation of artificial intelligence, human beings not only do not represent the Earth, but are a virus-like hidden danger to the Earth. This result is a bit slapped. I think that after this incident, Tony will definitely mature a lot. Thomas Wayne. Did Tony Stark get fired from his own superhero team after doing something like this? Li Zan laughed. How about Tony Stark not being fired from his own superhero team? Do you feel a little unbalanced in your heart? Thomas Wayne embarrassed. I'm just curious, didn't the woman he stabbed cause a big crisis? Li Zan. If you really want to say, the Zhongzi he stabbed is also one of the hidden dangers. Afterwards, these superheroes hurt a lot of civilians when they hunted down the villains, and the World Security Council wants to control them. Li Zan. There happened to be a powerful person whose family was killed by them, who discovered the existence of Buggy the Winter Soldier, and discovered that Buggy killed Howard Stark. He used this incident as a fuse to directly get revenge. The alliance is split. Thomas Wayne said speechlessly. How can this happen? The loss of their superhero team is greater than the Justice League on our side. Howard Tucker is also helpless. Indeed. One side just fired a superhero, and the other side is the split of the superhero team 497. In other words, have they become two superhero teams? If so, then the loss smaller. Li Zan. No, Captain America shielded the Winter Soldier Buggy, believed that freedom was not controlled, led people to start the Avengers Civil War, and raided the prison to rescue the captured superheroes. The result is very simple, they're wanted. Surprised Uchiha Madara. A superhero is wanted. Whitebeard said dismissively. What's so strange about that? The government and the hero are not exactly on the same page. Outside world. Li Zan glanced at the Catwoman who wanted to sneak away quietly, and summoned the Black Shadow Ninja in a heartbeat, and packed the Catwoman and the Egyptian cat away. Then Li Zan used space power and appeared directly in the Arkham Asylum, in the clown's ward. Wow, in such a miraculous way, who are you? Are you a superhero or a supervillain? Or are you a genius scientist who just invented something? The clown looked at Li Zan with a big smile on his face, looked at him with interest, and wanted to see something from Li Zan. Li Zan laughed. Joker, what do you think of Batman? The Joker looked serious and said seriously, Batman is a lunatic with a serious mental illness. He obtains psychological comfort by oppressing criminals. If Batman dies, Gotham City will not be saved. The Joker looked at Li Zan expectantly and said, do you have the ability to move in space? Take me out of here. This world is crazy, isn't it? We have to change this disgusting world. Li Zan laughed. How do you want to change the world? The Joker said firmly. The world is sick, and Gotham City, as the birthplace of the virus, must be resolved first. To save Gotham City, we must first save Batman. Arrest him and let him admit himself ill. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 224 Batman feels like he's done again. Li Zan looked at the Joker with interest and asked, then what? After you let Batman admit that he is sick, what are you going to do? The Joker said enthusiastically. We want to transform Batman, the first step is to let him learn to smile. Don't you think he is too serious? He needs to learn to laugh like me. Li Zan glanced at the pale smiling face of the Joker, shook his head and said, forget it. If Batman laughs like you, then he is not Batman. He wants to use dark means to deter criminals, you should understand this. Bar. The clown said in surprise, can't my smile deter criminals? Li Zan fell silent. He suddenly felt that what the clown said made sense, but he was speechless. Compared with Batman's darkness, the Joker's darkness can deter criminals more, and this unscrupulous lunatic makes criminals more terrified than Batman. The Joker smiled and said, you noticed it too. If Batman becomes like me, his idea of deterring criminals can be easily realized. Whoever dares to commit crimes and torture them like me will soon be able to bring down Gotham City's criminals. Crime rates come down. Li Zan shook his head and said, he won't do it, he won't break the bottom line like you. Your approach is so crazy that Batman won't accept it. The clown said disdainfully. What bottom line? He is afraid that after the criminal is gone, he will no longer be able to vent his inner darkness at will. Li Zan said speechlessly. You don't really think that you can save Gotham City with your own darkness? The clown said solemnly. Of course not. Without criminal activities, Gotham City's fiscal revenue would be reduced by at least 1/3. Master Gong's responsibility is to protect taxpayers, even if taxpayers are damn criminals. Li Zan smiled. Go on. The Joker said enthusiastically. So to really change Gotham City, we need to solve Batman and government officials together. Otherwise, if they make trouble, how can I use my darkness to change Gotham City? Li Zan shook his head and said, although you have some truth in what you say, I won't believe you are a lunatic. After all, you are notorious for being capricious, aren't you? The clown looked at Li Zan pitifully and said, no way. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to save the world. Do you want to give it up because of a little doubt? Li Zan rolled his eyes, he didn't believe the clown's nonsense. Even if the Joker has the idea of saving the world, he doesn't have the patience and perseverance to implement this idea. Li Zan will not be bewitched by him. Li Zan raised his hand and placed a series of seals on the Joker's body, and executed some damned guys in the Arkham Mental Hospital. Li Zan teleported to Batman's lair, Batcave, the secret base of Bruce when he was Batman. The butler looked at Bruce with a speechless expression, and said, Master, you are so embarrassed today. What happened to the enemy you faced? Bruce sneered and said, don't mention it. That guy might have some superpowers, this time I was careless. The housekeeper comforted. Master, a failure is nothing. Every time you face a strange enemy, you will lose the first battle. Bruce glanced at the housekeeper speechlessly, are you comforting me? The butler said with a smile. As long as your enemy doesn't kill you in the first fight, you will find out his intelligence. Then in the second fight, make a corresponding strategy to defeat the opponent. Don't be discouraged. Frustrated. Victory must be yours. Bruce nodded, but the housekeeper was right. What Batman is best at is making plans, targeting the enemy's weakness to defeat the enemy. So the more comprehensive he is about the enemy intelligence master, the better his chances of victory. That's why he can beat his teammates, he knows his teammates too well. Far away, Thomas Wayne, who saw this scene through Li Zan, said speechlessly, Master, can you stop worrying about him? Li Zan said with a smile. Don't worry, I'm not the kind of stingy person. Since Bruce is deliberately trying to beat me, I can't avoid fighting. Although his suspicion is very serious, I believe that he will call him several times. He can still be cured. Howard Stark said with a smile. Since the group leader has decided to transform Bruce, will Thomas Wayne be unable to impure world reincarnation for a while? Li Zan. Yes, Thomas Wayne, pit father. Thomas Wayne was helpless, and he could only let Bruce ask for more blessings. Li Zan lived in Gotham City for a while, felt the simple folk customs of Gotham City, educated the Catwoman who was crooked, and analyzed the magic of death inside the Egyptian cat. During this period, Bruce used his banknote ability to figure out Li Zan's residence, and he came to find a place every now and then. Then he received a course of electric shock treatment here at Li Zan, and limped back to the Batcave to recover. After a long time and many times, even Li Zan admired Bruce's perseverance. Not everyone can maintain a high fighting spirit and tenacious fighting spirit after experiencing so many blows. Li Zan, here I am again. Batman reappears in his mid-fight, speaking in his signature deep voice. Even though Li has discovered his identity, he has not forgotten his principles and still insists on using the identity of Batman. Are you again? Li Zan was speechless when he looked at the Batman in front of him. This guy's head was as tough as Urzuzi. The rain is over, the sky is sunny, and Batman feels like he's doing it again. There was thunder and rain, and Batman limped back. Batman said confidently, after previous defeats, my anti-Li Zan armor has been upgraded to a level close to perfection. I have used a supercomputer to conduct 100,000 simulated battles, and the number of times I have been defeated is 0. Li Zan said disdainfully, Batman, don't be so naive, okay? Your simulated battle is based on your knowledge of my intelligence. How much do you think you know about me? Batman didn't speak. He controlled his armor and rushed towards Li Zan, and then he was beaten by Li Zan without any accident and limped back to the Batcave. In the chat group, Senju Hashirama said speechlessly, is this Batman's brain okay? He is too hard-headed. He has been spared so many times by the group owner and continues to challenge shamelessly, isn't he too thick-skinned? Thomas Wayne. I think Bruce is cherishing the opportunity to upgrade his strength through the master of the group. There is no perfect sparring in the world like the master of the group who is so powerful and will not kill him. Howard Stark smiled and said, his battle armor is a bit interesting, and there is even a targeted research and development battle armor. This idea is not bad, and I also plan to create a corresponding battle armor. Li Zan. Your son has also made various anti-XX battle armor, but the result is similar to Batman's anti-Li Zan battle armor. Whoever opposes the armor will be demolished. Quote. Mutant Black Emperor. Haha. It's too unfriendly to scientists, isn't it? Obviously the strength of technology is so strong. One Piece Roger. Master, there is an Aizen in the Shinigami world, you know. Li Zan. I know, what's wrong? Shiki the Golden Lion. I heard that he is very strong, maybe second only to the Yohabaku who was defeated by the leader of the group. We want to see his strength, but now he is locked up. Yamamoto Lu Yuansai Shigekuni. You don't want to let him out, do you? I advise you not to do that, that guy is very dangerous. Whitebeard. Gu la la la. We have information about him and the damage he has done to the world. But you've defeated him, haven't you? Li Zan. Stop making trouble. He lost to himself, otherwise almost no one can beat him. The Hogyoku he developed is very powerful, and it can be called the #1 artifact in the Shinigami world. Of course, it is limited to the Shinigami world. Quote. One Piece Roger. The Shinigami told us about Hogyoku, and I heard that it is a thing that can make people infinitely stronger, but now it has been sealed. Yamamoto Ryuansai Shigekuni. The Shinigami people trust you so much. It seems like they told you everything. Uchiha Madara. We fought side by side, and we have enough strength to face them. It is normal for them to have a good relationship with us and trust us. Howard Stark curiously said, Master Group, is that Hogyoku really that magical? I want to study it. Shiki the Golden Lion smiled. We also want to see Aizen's strength, but we are worried that he will lose control. But if there is a group leader watching, it should be fine. Li Zan. The contest with the Shinigami is over. Open black lens bracket Manujao One Piece Roger. It's over, they are really strong. In addition to having the magical Zanpakuto, they seem to have other skills. Golden Lion Shiki. Roger, you idiot, you can't remember anything. Let me think about it, it seems to be a ghost, right? The first 3 are nothing, and the 4th is very interesting. Whitebeard. Sword art, body art, teleportation, these things are not uncommon in the pirate world. It's just that the Shinigami Master's Kido does not have similar abilities in the pirate world. Sword God Ryoma. Kido looks similar to ninjutsu, and requires preparation time to complete, far less easy to use than Devil Fruit's instant cast. Of course, whether it is Kido or ninjutsu, the strong have the ability to instantly cast them. Powerful Shinigami can give up chanting when using Kido, such as Aizen Kuyusuke and Yamamoto Ryusai Shigekuni have demonstrated this ability, and the strong in the Hokage world can also cast spells with one seal. Uchiha Madara's Fire Pass, Senju Hashirama the Wood Pass can be released in this way. Of course, the ability to release at will like Devil Fruit, the Zanpakuto ability in the Shinigami world and the Muji and Hitomi Jutsu in the Hokage world all have corresponding powers, the difference is only in the size of the power. Li Zan. Hogyoku. Something that can make people evolve and become stronger is really interesting. If Aizen hadn't given up and continued to become stronger, the Shinigami might not have been able to defeat him. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Chapter 225. Does the Prince and General Xiongming have a kind? A life form I've never seen, a power beyond my heyday, if only you showed up sooner so I wouldn't be bored and give up evolution. Aizen looked at Li Zan who appeared in front of him and said with emotion. Li Zan laughed. I want to let you out, but everyone in Soul Society disagrees. Especially a stubborn old man, I don't want you to reappear. Saying that, Li Zan stretched out his hand towards Aizen, and a crystal-clear Hogyoku flew out of Aizen's body and fell into Li Zan's hand. Aizen was really shocked now, and said in disbelief, how could you separate Hogyoku from me? Li Zan laughed. I'm different from them, don't underestimate me. The people of Soul Society couldn't separate Hogyoku from Aizen's body, and could only choose to seal it. Unlike them, Li Zan has enough power to strip Hogyoku. Li Zan looked at Aizen and said, you won't be bored next. Some people want to see your strength. Although they won't let you go, they can relieve your boredom. In the chat group, Sword God Ryoma. Master Group, aren't you here to watch us? Aizen's strength is a bit strong, and our souls are likely to be destroyed. Li Zan. I checked the information of the chat group before, and your souls will not be completely destroyed. At most, you can just feel the pain and come back to cultivate for a while, and you don't have to worry about it being completely wiped out. One Piece Roger. That's good. Although I'm not afraid of death, but the world is so fun now, I don't want to die. Yamamoto Luyuansai Shigekuni. Master 497, the leader of the group, I suddenly thought of a question. Without you, who can defeat Yohabak? Li Zan. Kurosaki Ichigo. Yamamoto Yanansai Shigekuni felt a little unbelievable, and said, though Kurosaki Ichigo is a good guy, he is also a guy who is good at creating miracles. But I still don't believe it if he can beat Yohabak. Li Zan. I don't believe it either, but it's the truth. Kurosaki Ichigo has an incomparably powerful force in his blood, and he defeated Yohaba with that power. Shinigami ended up breaking down, as did Kurosaki Ichigo defeating Yohabak. The settings are all swallowed up, and it is meaningless to care about. Second Mizukage said with some dissatisfaction. That is to say, that Kurosaki Ichigo, who defeated the super villain with the power in his blood. It feels a bit similar to Naruto Sasuke. Li Zan. What do you mean by feeling similar? They are similar. Kurosaki Ichigo and Naruto Sasuke are the same, they both rely on strong blood and add-ons to eat. Of course, the Straw Hat Luffy in One Piece world is the same, and the blood of the D family is still somewhat similar. Advantage. The Golden Lion Shiki said speechlessly. Do they all have very strong luck, and every time they encounter danger, they can send out their power beyond the limit, and then their enemies will be very unlucky. Li Zan smiled and said, congratulations, Shiki, the Golden Lion, you have learned to answer quickly. Whitebeard laughed. Although it is good to have a winning ending, this kind of victory still makes people feel a little uncomfortable. Shiki, the Golden Lion, said unhappily. BFDH, who said no. Roger is also a dog like them. If you look closely, is Roger really that different from the Straw Hat Luffy? One Piece Roger smiled and said, Shiki. This is fate, no matter how much you complain, it's useless. Han Fei. People with outstanding blood can easily succeed. This is an unchanging truth in all worlds. Even in my world, people with ancient blood have a huge advantage. Even me, in essence it's also a lot of advantages that come from blood. Han Fei. If I wasn't born in a family of princes, no matter how smart I am, it's useless, because I can't learn those advanced knowledge at all. In my world, those who study literature and martial arts are not ordinary people. The era that Han Fei lived in was an era of knowledge monopoly. Even the so-called prince of the poor family was essentially a poor family. As for learning martial arts, needless to say, it is not a joke to be rich in martial arts. Dongfangyu. Ha ha ha. The same is true in this old man's world. The advantages brought by bloodlines are indeed great. Needless to say, the bloodline can determine their talents and starting points. Even our human race has the Dongfang family. A family with blood advantage. Dad. Don't take the bloodline too seriously, no matter which world there is a powerful bloodline that has been exterminated. The princes and generals are kind, do you know? Senju Hashirama, Oriental Lonely Moon. The patriarchs of the two families who were almost completely wiped out felt a little sad at this time. The powerful bloodline is cut off. Their family in the future is indeed completely cut off. Han Fei. Is there such a thing as the Prince and General Xiongming? This sentence is well said. Dad, I didn't expect you to have such insight. Dad. This is not Dad's insight, but after Qin unified the world, someone shouted out when there was a crisis of destruction. Han Fei. Really, I didn't expect it to be a high opinion of my descendants. My blood in this world can't bring all kinds of magical abilities, so it's not bad. Li Zan. The down-and-out phoenix is not as good as a chicken. Your bloodline in the world has little advantage, and its influence on people is acquired. Once they lose their power and wealth, they are no different from ordinary people. It's not wrong. Senju Hashirama. Sir, Thor, the god of thunder, wants to see you. Li Zan. What's wrong? Senju Hashirama. Through the tempering and constant fighting of Thor's hammer these days, Thor has perfectly mastered the power of Thor in his body. However, Thor's hammer felt that he could continue to improve, and the two had a conflict. Is now clamoring to see you and ask you to change Thor's hammer back to him. Li Zan reluctantly. It's really troublesome. The space gem flashed, and Li Zan appeared in front of Thor. At this time, Thor, the god of thunder, was filled with the power of thunder and lightning, and he was fighting against the thunder that flowed from the hammer of Thor. Thor's hammer shouted, "Saul, quickly give up unnecessary resistance, and honestly accept the tempering of thunder and lightning. As a Thor, it is a shame to be afraid of electricity. It's a shame to be shocked by me, you must adapt to the power of thunder and lightning." Thor refused without hesitation, and said confidently, "You think I'm stupid? I don't want it." What's wrong with Thor being afraid of electricity? The god of tricks will be deceived by tricks, which is normal. Thor's hammer said angrily, "I don't care. Master of Thor's hammer, you must have the ability to be immune to lightning attacks. Don't be afraid, I will not hurt you. I will increase the power of lightning little by little, so that your body produces antibodies to lightning." Thor, the god of thunder, said disdainfully, "Don't lie there, every time your electric shocks make me feel sad." Thor's hammer defended. "But those electric shocks didn't hurt you, did they? On the contrary, because of those thunder and lightning attacks, the master lost the power of Thor in your body. It's normal to feel pain and sadness, which means that thunder and lightning's tricks exceeds your lightning immunity range. Otherwise, how can you increase your lightning resistance?" Thor sighed, helplessly pushing the thunder god's power in his body against the lightning pouring out of Thor's hammer. He missed more and more the hammer of Thor, who had no self-awareness before, and the strict teacher was the most annoying. Brush. Li Zan appeared out of thin air, waved at Thor's hammer, and the hammer flew into Li Zan's hand with a screeching sound. Thor heaved a sigh of relief and said helplessly, "Li, you are finally here. Quickly restore Thor's hammer to its original state, I no longer need it to help me train." Li Zan looked at Thor, nodded and said, "It seems that my training method is very useful, you are already a mature Thor." Thor rolled his eyes and said, "Your training method is indeed useful, but the process is a bit unpleasant. In addition, if there is a choice, I would rather fight with Enel's ability to use lightning, rather than accept the training of Thor's hammer." Thor's hammer said angrily, "Saul, you are ungrateful." Thor hummed. "When fighting Enel, I was able to fight back to vent my anger. But with your training, I can only receive electric shocks." Li Zan pondered. "It took a lot of effort for me to give Thor's hammer to life, and it's a pity to restore it like this. So, let Odin decide. If he thinks you need Thor's hammer, it's a pity. Let Mjolnir continue to exist. If he feels it is no longer necessary, I will restore the hammer to its original state." Thor gave Li Zan a speechless look, he was no longer the stupid hammer god he used to be. As a mature Thor, he could see Li Zan's intentions at a glance. Thor reluctantly said, "Li, what treasures have you seen in Asgard again? As long as it's not too expensive, I can decide to give it to you." Li Zan said rudely, "No way. You are only the heir to the throne now, and Asgard is not yours. In other words, your promise is of no value to me. If you promise to go back, you will overthrow Odin's successor. If you are in a position, I can consider agreeing to your conditions." Thor became silent. How to answer this? Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running.